Here you go. This is Emily C., my new bestie.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. There she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really good.
Listen, Turtle, you gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
She destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
Hi, everyone. I'm like 70% ready of where I wanted to be right now, but I didn't want to keep you waiting anymore. So we're going to FOIA and find out together. How's everybody doing? Oh, look, the universe is great. Hi, Keith Steele. Good afternoon, Mitchell. I haven't really slept since squirrel school. It's a weird day. It's been so hot. So usually these notice of discoveries are coming out every other Friday. And normally I've told Trial Channel and Kyle that I'm like, they literally come out at a time where I can't even look at my computer for like 7 hours and I don't get to play around with any of it. But today my husband's home from work, so he has Carter, and I got to organize everything. Yeah, this was really exciting. I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually like look at this in real time. Unfortunately, Side-Eye Jess says my 70% is your 100%. No, because I wanted to be able, there's so many of you guys that already have like dug through things. I'm sure I haven't even opened Twitter. So I did want to ask you, oh, you guys, we're like the best team. I wanted to ask any of you if you've already gone through anything or if you have anything that like stands out to you that you want to see first. We can start there because I don't have a plan. But let me back up and like explain to you what all of this is for anybody who might be new here. Good afternoon. Dexter, have you saved us from the Commonwealth yet? Because like, it's just getting worse. It's not getting worse. It's like we're getting validated that this feeling that we've had this whole time where we're like, something weird is going on here. And everything we learn, it's like, oh yeah, like I get why we felt like things were weird. It's bad. It's really bad. Like there's nothing that's come out that's like reassuring, like, oh, like somebody did the right thing. So, Dexter, if you could save us from the Commonwealth, that would be great. Oh wait, hold on. I have to change my layout because I have my little FOIA and find out background. Hold on. That seems like maybe it's right. Nope, not even a little bit. Oh my God. I wish you guys could see what my computer was doing right now. I look like a ridiculous person. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Not really. Hold on. No, you still can't see my little FOIA thing. Hold on. This is going to be a big, like, talk amongst yourself night. Okay. There. I did it. Oh, you guys want to know some cute stories? Carter now, anytime. So his speech teacher told me that I should say things that are like in his perspective, like that I would want him to say. So instead of saying like, you did it, I say like, I did it. And for so long, like he would do something and I would just be like, I did it. Like always felt kind of weird, but it really worked. And now if he does something, he goes, I did it. It's so cute. Okay. Yeah, Keith Steele gets this. It seems like they're making it hard for Karen Reed. Yeah, you know why? It's like getting so obvious now. Like allegedly, apparently, whatever, in my opinion, all the things I have to say. If things are not hard for Karen Reed, then the truth comes out. And they have to make things hard for Karen Reed because they don't want the truth to come out. And just a word of advice for like anybody in power, like anybody in your regular life. If you don't do bad things, you don't have to worry about the truth coming out, because if you are a upstanding moral human, then when the truth comes out, you're happy about that because it's just the things that you're supposed to do. Bob is my name said, Emily, do you know the names of the people on the 10-person Proctor text stream? I feel like I probably know the same amount that everyone does. There's Whitey, it's actually not a racist thing. For once in Proctor's phone, his last name is really like something white. There's Jonathan with the good hair, I think, is in one of them. The guy who testified, who said, like, yeah, Michael Proctor is like a great guy. He's my best friend. I've loved him ever since I met him. And then like 2 seconds later, he was like, I can't read his words. These are not my words. I would not say these. So which one is it? Is he a great guy or what? E. Chase said she's been a hyper-focused Swiftie today. So this is how I know. Last night we were talking about, like, I like Taylor Swift's music. This is the difference between like a Swiftie and like I like her music. Because I didn't even know that Taylor Swift was getting married until Sam said it on her show when she was talking about Madison Square Garden. I was like, oh, I mean, like I knew she was engaged, but like I didn't know the wedding was coming up. So if anybody could fill me in on like what I'm supposed to know, that would be helpful for me pretending to be a Swiftie. Am I in a black dungeon? Yes. One side is the black dungeon, and over here is like a rainbow, colorful wall. Yeah, the Proctor witches. So Melanie went over a little bit today about the history of trying innocent people in Massachusetts. And like, it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. This all makes sense. If we just embrace it and we just say, like, we actually don't live in a fair society, we just are at the whims of whoever's in power, then maybe we would all just feel better about things. Or maybe we would all feel a lot worse. That reminds me. Oh, I heard that in Melanie's stream. Otto said, I think she's already married. Sneaky. A lot of people do that though. Like I have friends who got married in Mexico, and when we got back, they were like, oh yeah, we got married like a week before at City Hall. And I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Oh yay, thank you. Fill me in. Double M double nine said, who's Taylor Swift? And like, I'm genuinely like, if you actually mean that and you're not just being funny, I love that for you. You stay under your rock. Is it peaceful under that rock? Okay, first things first. I have to make sure this doesn't have my address. Okay. I want to like frame all of this and basically anything we do ever anymore with the intention that we need to get Adam Deitch elected as DA, or all of this just stays the same. And like, I want to make the caveat that like, it probably would be a little bit different if like Juna Perkins wins or Macy Lee wins or my boy Jimbo wins. But I think if it's not Adam Deitch, it's Greg Conner. And that's not like, it's either we get Adam Deitch over the finish line and we catch him up to Greg Conner now and we make it happen, or it's Greg Conner. And if it's Greg Conner, then we just get a whole lot more of the same and maybe even a little bit worse because Greg Connor's like a little bit more competent than Michael Morrissey. Like, we're going to see this tonight in these emails. Like, Michael Morrissey, I think, is just dumb. It's like Sean Good dumb. Like, just dumb because okay, you do know who she is. That would be really cute if you didn't. I don't know. I think like sometimes Michael Morrissey is sending out an email asking a question, like asking a like who's Taylor Swift question, but like means it. Like he's like, what is this? And it's like something that's so like, dude, just read the article and you would know what it is. And he's like, dumb. Also, we find out here. So in the last Michael Morrissey email dump, we learned about his like burner phone and he was like cheesy banana or something. And now he has an iPad. I don't know if it was like a new iPad or he just started using his iPad, but yeah, he has an iPad now. Card. Yeah, I don't think like Greg Connor would do a lot of card. I think he would do more nefarious stuff. It's like Michael Morrissey spends a whole lot of time every day just trying to reach out to Democratic donors and like consoling families who've lost somebody that used to donate to him so that he can like transfer the donation over to the living family. And he does that by sending a card. But I say all of this to say, oh yeah, and this is important. Leapfrog Leap, thank you for having a name I can read, said Morrissey has never argued a case in court. He's not a trial attorney. He's a politician, and that's the problem. I agree, except I also think a trial attorney in Greg Connor would be an even worse problem because he would be able to like strategize better. I think that's what I mean by this. It's like Michael Morrissey is a politician in a attorney role, and he doesn't really know what's going on beyond like staying in power and protecting people in power. And Greg Connor would also know how to like manipulate the system, in my opinion, allegedly, blah, 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 whatever. I say all of this to say, hold on, this is a very sweet message. Karen Sutter said, hi, Emily. I'm Norfolk County adjacent, and I'm starting my own channel. Congratulations. That's so exciting. I love what you are doing. I've spent over a decade sending FOIA requests and getting stonewalled. Grateful to you, and Corey would love to chat. I'm here anytime you can. My email address is somewhere, but it's emilyc64000. Don't ask why I picked the most annoying email address at gmail.com and or I'm on Twitter. Okay. I don't know if you're asking me that or Karen. Okay. This is what I wanted to show you guys. We need to get Adam Deitch elected. I put a bumper sticker on my car for the first time ever. I've never had a bumper sticker on my car. Now I have an Adam Deitch bumper sticker on my car. That's how serious I am. I don't even know if bumper stickers can come off. He wrote me a note and it says, Emily C., I can't thank you enough for all of your help and support. Now let's win this thing. Like he wants this. This is not like, he's not trying to win because he wants the power. He's not trying to win because he's scared of what will happen if he doesn't win. He wants to win because he's seen 10 times more than what we've seen. And he's motivated and petrified and angry and like appalled that the people that are currently in power are letting this current situation happen. Nancy, let's knock doors together. Hold on, I just dropped that. I asked Corey Hopkins the other day, I was like, what if I put a Greg Connor shirt on and I just start walking around the neighborhood being like, hi, Greg Connor loves Michael Proctor. And she said that would actually be very illegal and borderline breaking like a bunch of laws, not just one. So I'm not going to do that, but I would door knock with you on Adam's behalf. I don't know how we sign up for that or do that, but I would love to do that. I've been seeing more yard signs lately, not specifically Adam Deitch signs, but not Adam Deitch signs. But one thing I noticed is for a little while, every time I saw a Greg Connor sign, so I've been keeping track. I have a notes app in my phone, and every time I see a campaign sign, I just like add it to my notes app. So let me give you the breakdown. I was tabulating when every time I would see a Greg Connor sign, it would be with a sign for Mike Rush and Stephen Lynch, who are running for Congress or Senate and Congress and Senate. I should know that. I don't though. Maybe it's good I don't know that, because like maybe that means that they're just like doing things normally, or maybe that means it's a problem we haven't uncovered yet. But so it would be like the three signs together, almost like they were just sending out a pack from like the machine. And then lately, like in the last week, suddenly I'm seeing a lot of Lynch and Rush signs with no Connor sign with them. And I don't know if that means that like they're sending out the 3-pack and the person in that house is choosing not to put Connor out, or if they just are not into the DA's race. But I feel like that was interesting. Yeah, it's the trio. There's a corner near my house that I've been calling Greg Connor Corner, because there's like, it's like all campaigns. It's kind of like a busy area. And there's like every apartment building has all three, like the trifecta. And it's like all the way down the street is like Rush, Lynch, Connor, Rush, Lynch, Connor. And I was like, something that annoys me is that Connor has like good signs, like aesthetically. And that annoys me because I'm like, well, shoot, you like did that well. Okay. So I've been keeping track for like 2 weeks or something. I've seen 17 Connor signs plus one at the Proctor house. That gets its own separate category. But out of those 17, 9 of them were with a sign for Rush and or Lynch, which is interesting. I saw somebody earlier. So lots of Jubinville signs in Milton makes sense. He lives there, but Greg Connor also lives in Milton. So that could be a promising thing, because I don't think Jubinville's going to win. And he's very old. I don't know if he's going to, well, pray for him. I loved him, Jubinville, at the debate. I felt like so I had watched one forum before he got on the ballot, or like in the whatever. And I feel like he brought a different energy where it was kind of like, everybody be quiet, like grandpa's talking, like he's telling us like the stories of his time, like he's teaching us like the lessons he's learned. I hope he doesn't win. I mean, I don't know if you've been in politics for that long, you've made some connections that I don't want you to have. Adam Deitch, there's 10. I couldn't decide. One of my neighbors has 2 Adam Deitch signs, and I couldn't decide if I should count that as 1 or 2. I just counted it as 1, but I appreciate them. And every time I see an Adam Deitch sign, you guys, I wonder if it's like one of you. Like anytime I pass a house with an Adam Deitch sign, I'm like, do we know each other? Macy Lee, I've seen 4 signs, and they were in like kind of odd places. Like it feels like all the other signs are kind of like, there was 4 Juna signs, like right when I drove into Needham. It was like this little neighborhood, like clearly loves Juna, like 4 houses on the same street. Macy's are kind of just scattered everywhere where there's no kind of rhyme or reason. McClellan's is the weirdest situation I've seen so far. So I've seen 2 Craig McClellan signs at houses, normal in the yard, like they're supposed to be. Then there's two, if you guys know Canton, the stretch of road that goes from like Norwood to Canton, where you go over the highway and then you like take a left to go to 34 Fairview. There's like just a grassy area, like really tall grass with no houses. It goes over the highway. There's two McClellan signs on either side of that stretch of road. And I was like, that feels like cheating. And then in Walpole, like over kind of by like in the neighborhoods near Patriot Place, there was another stretch of road with tall grass and there was a McClellan sign there. So I don't know what's going on with this, if they're like not getting enough people that want yard signs, so they're just like tossing them in tall grass. I just thought that was funny. I've seen one Jubinville sign and 6 Juna Perkins. No Jimbos yet. No Bearcats yet. Has anybody seen a Bearcat sign? Does he have signs? Does he know he's supposed to have signs? Like he wrote something on Twitter the other day that was like, we blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I feel like you're like a one-man team, kid. Yeah, this is like my new hobby. Also, I have a couple more things about this. One of the Connor, and like, don't tell me I'm weird because I already know. So it's like, miss me with that. One of the Connor signs is at Laura McLaughlin's house, and Hank Brennan doesn't have a sign at his house. Okay, I say all of that to say that this is not just important for us to like understand what happened in the Karen Reed trial, to get to the bottom of what happened, to point out inconsistencies, to confirm for our own selves that we've been gaslit this whole time and that we've been right this whole time. But it's also because this matters so much. Like the first document that we're about to read, that's like the cover sheet to the FOIA request, is the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office is making a production of materials. Like it all goes back to the District Attorney's Office. And I'm sure that you guys all know this, but when you work at an organization that has bad leadership, it trickles down to everything. Even if you have like the best employees and the most motivated people that work there, if there's bad leadership, it turns everything sour. It makes people do their job worse. Either because they feel like I don't want to, or because they're like they don't have to. It makes good people leave and bad people stay. And it sets the tone for everything. Michael Morrissey is a bad leader. He just has no leadership qualities whatsoever, and he's not very smart. And Greg Connor is his protege. So all of this is with the framing that we need to get Adam Deitch elected. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with Carby Barbie read between the lines of what I was saying but not saying, because I don't want anything to get back to anybody that I used to work for. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Hold on. But I worked at a school that I loved for a very long time, and something not the team didn't change, but the values of the team changed, if that makes sense. And all of a sudden, it was not a fun place to work anymore, and it didn't bring out the best in people. And I've told myself for a long time that was actually a very good thing, because I probably never would have left teaching. And it was the right thing for me to leave teaching when Carter was diagnosed with autism. But it made it a lot easier when I was working for people that didn't make it fun anymore. That's all I'll say about that. Okay. So the very first thing that I look at when I get these Mo Esquire said, I got my parents' sister, 2 cousins to put up Adam Deitch yard sign. See, it's like, I wonder when I see houses now, like, I wonder if one of these houses that I added is like your family member. Like, I love that. I need to fix something. Hold on. This is kind of driving me crazy. Give me 2 seconds. Add item, camera. Add item, media. Okay. We'll see how that goes. That didn't do anything. Okay. Now, this is okay. The cover letter is like what gets sent for any FOIA request, and it just goes through like what you requested and what's included. So we're going to start here. And I did want to ask you guys if anybody has gone through this already and there was like something particularly interesting that you wanted to talk about or look at, we can do that first. Actually, you know what? Because I am me and I don't have a plan, we're going to look at the FOIA site first, so I don't forget. This is FOIAandfindout.com. Shout out to the trial channel who bought me that domain from like GoDaddy or however I don't even know how you buy domains. Okay, hold on. A name that I can't say with a cute little monkey thing, MB Sensal, said those stupid GIFs block the chat. Why do they why is that a thing? And also, why the heart at the bottom right corner of the chat when you're on your phone blocks like the most recent message? And it's so inconvenient. It's like I can't see, like I have to like wait for somebody else to comment to see the last comment. I feel like somebody is designing this that like doesn't actually use YouTube chats. Yeah, it's trying to be TikTok, but it's like if I wanted to go on TikTok, I would go on TikTok. And guess what? I don't want to go on TikTok at all. I want to be here. I like this. Yeah. So shout out to the trial channel. She is literally the best. And one day she was like, I want to buy you that domain so you can have FOIAandfindout.com. And then she like didn't even tell me that she did it. And one day I forget how I even found out. I like clicked on something and I was like, wait, you got that? And she was like, oh, it works. It was just so sweet. So you can go to FOIAandfindout.com instead of having to go to sites.google.view. Whatever, blah, blah. This is the FOIA site. At the top, there is a link. This is the merch store. This is if you want to send a Cash App to donate. Don't feel like you have to. I've said this before. And for some reason, the people that don't like me get particularly annoyed that like we're crowdfunding this. And that's why I want to make this really clear. This is like contribute if you like you're like, oh my God, I found $10 in my pocket and I didn't even know I had it. And like, I didn't account for this in my life. So I can donate that. If you're like stretched thin, if you have something, this is like the last thing I want you to donate to, because we can get these. We have a good little like slush fund already. And Kyle is very good about like submitting these requests and waiting it out. And then if they don't respond in a certain amount of time, then they're free. So we like are still, it's not like if we don't have a fund, we won't get anything. And I will always reach out to you guys if there's something where it's like, oh, we have this one that they came back and it's $400 and we don't have that in the fund. Like, does anybody want to donate? We don't have that situation right now. So don't feel like this is where your money should go. But this is Cash App. This is Venmo. I should probably make those bigger because they're very small. And then each one of these is a link to a Google Drive folder. So I tried to make it a little bit easier where you can see like generally these aren't the only things that are in them, but they're kind of like the big ticket items in each one. So this first one has the cars test is in like everything. The other thing that's starting to get a little bit funny is there are some documents that we got like here. Which one was it? In the April one, this number 2, we got like the aperture report, and we got, I think Jessica Hyde is in here too. Oh no. So this is like Ian Whiffen, Michael Easter, Trooper Paul's report. These are all because they were attachments in somebody's email. So it wasn't like it wasn't like a document that the district attorney's office prepared for this like dump, but it's because it was an attachment. So now we're getting the documents as like part of the drop. And then it's like, I think we already have that. So I'm going to try to consolidate things. The cars report is Trooper Paul's excellent adventure. And in this one today, thank you, we get some supplemental stuff that I haven't actually gone through yet. Thank you. I have a lot of fun doing this. It's a little annoying because I have to make it in Canva and then like save it and then upload it. And every time I do it, I'm like, if I wasn't so obsessive about this stuff, I could just make these links. And then once I was like, I'll just make links. It will just be like a list of links, like, and I did it all. And I was like, oh, I hate that. And then I made this instead. And I realized that I should not do that. So anyways, so this was a good one. Number 2 was a good one. Number 3 was a boring one. There's like literally nothing there. You can click on it. There's some stuff. Let's do it anyways, Fervent. Everybody say congratulations to Fervent because today is his first day on Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music. And I've already listened to the album like 3 times over. And it's so good. And there's a little remix. We might have to play the Proctor Defender from Spotify now because there's like a little remix part in the middle that I was like, oh my God, what was that? It's great. Okay. So in May, this is when we got the Lucky Lochran interview that is available on Trial Channel, Trial Files, actually. This is when we learned the stuff about the communications between Kevin Albert and John O'Keefe. This is when we got those handwritten notes that were interesting. And I was a little bit bummed because this drop also has handwritten notes, but they're not nearly as exciting as the other ones were. The last one has a bunch of Sallyport video that was, I don't even know. Yeah, they're like some of them weren't even working on my computer. We might have to skip the Sallyport stuff. Today, my computer was being weird about it. They're really big files. And then there's a bunch of interviews. I tried to separate all the interviews out. I should go back and label these. I'm going to write myself a note. Hold on. At first, I was going to just keep everything like in the notice of discovery organization the way that they do it. But it just makes it's more annoying. Also, if you are somebody who is like using this site a lot, like if you're somebody who's like doing some super sleuthing and digging, send me an email. And I can share a link for you where you can search. It's like, I get like weird. I don't know how like Google Drive is if like everybody I don't know. But if you're using it a lot and you need to be able to search through the entire folder, I have a link that I can send you where you can like search a word and then it would come up for the whole site, not just like the folder that you're in, if that makes sense. Anyways. Okay, I need to label interviews. Label interviews. Okay. And now, before we go on to the exciting new stuff today, I just want to show you down here so those are just the notice of discovery. And just to be clear what the notice of discovery means, these are the items that the Commonwealth provided to Karen's team during the trial, and we're getting them in the order that that Karen's team got them in, which I think is kind of interesting to like get into their minds of how the case kind of came together for them. This is really nice. I appreciate this message a lot. Thank you for having us over. I love that you don't have a plan. I appreciate that more than you can even know, because I don't like that I don't have a plan, but I'm glad you're along for the ride with me. And I'm glad I like feel more comfortable now. Like when I first started doing this, I literally wouldn't have pressed live if I didn't have a plan. So I'm glad you guys stuck by me. And now I can just blobbity blah to your ear balls, and we're all just hanging out. Oh my gosh. What if Yuri is on the cruise right now being like, fuck you, Hank, think you're better than me? Do you think what song? Okay, this is actually a serious question. Out of all of Fervent's songs, what song do you think that Yuri would do for karaoke? Proctor Defender. He's like, this song's about me. Okay, so then this is annoying me. Hold on. Update it. Down here is, I was explaining what the notice. So notice of discovery is what Karen's team got. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but in the order that Karen's team got them. Then down here, I took the rest of the FOIA documents that we've been getting and and organized them by like category. So these are like the Massachusetts State Police FOIA documents. So in here you can see like Yuri Buchanan's post-commission reprimand or whatever, times he got in trouble. Like when he failed to supervise at Michael Proctor. Yeah. July 5th, 2024. But it's long. It's a long document. It wasn't just a one-time thing. There's a lot of stuff in here. So I'm not going to get distracted by that right now, but you might want to go in there and figure out why Yuri got in trouble so much. Tully's emails are here, Tully's internal affairs investigation, and this has a bunch of links to trial files. And then these are the ones when we read them together. These are the Canton Police Department stuff, Colleen Crawford's software. Aussie Insider wanted that information because she's like so good at the techie side of stuff. I don't know what any of this means. It's like the money that she spent on these different, basically to me, it looks like she couldn't figure out which editing software was going to be the best. So she just ordered all of them, and Canton PD was like, yeah, get it, girl, like whatever you need. And she spent a lot of money. All of them are like, what did it say? It wasn't editing. It was like, what was the word? It was like brightening. I know. Well, I want to make sure that we get to the actual like new stuff. But I want you guys to know that this is here, because I've realized I've been like putting stuff up and then I'm like, I didn't even publicize it. So how's anybody going to know? Miscellaneous CPD documents are like Helena Rafferty's emails, which I found less exciting. The thing with the FOIA stuff is you have to like you have to know what you're looking for, or you have to just be willing. It's like when you go to like Marshalls, and it's like you either have to be looking for something so specific, like I need a pair of black pants, that's the only thing I'm going to look for, or you have to be willing to just be like, I'm browsing, I might find something, I might not. I do feel like when I'm just browsing, I might miss things. So I might like, I'm looking for something like really exciting to jump out at me, but there might be something else that's like, I'm just not thinking about the relationships or the case or whatever in the way that I would need to see why this piece of information is important. So to me, the Helena Rafferty emails were not that exciting, but it's very possible that I missed something that makes them exciting, is my point with all that. Yeah, it's like you just have to, you never know. You just dive right in. I don't even remember what Ellis Strategies is. Some of these things I literally don't even remember uploading, so I have no idea what any of that is. These are Kelly Devers stuff. And then this is just like a whole bunch of all the things. BPD right now just has the Commissioner Cox jackpot that Laura Kornacka and Corey Hopkins did together. This is invoices, a lot of billing stuff for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Another one that was not that exciting was Greg Connor's emails. Also, though, I don't even trust that if there was like a Greg Connor email that we would want to see, that they would send it to us. Like I know legally they have to, but I just don't trust anybody. And Greg Connor's emails felt so boring to me that it felt like there might be some things that were missing. But that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. There's only 28 pages though. It's like a document. It's not even an email. Like, give us the emails. Like, who are you chatting with? Like, what do you call people in your emails? Like, there's a rally for Sandra Birchmore. Please plan accordingly. Karen Reed supporters have been invited as well. Like, I think that sounds like you're saying F those people, but you're saying it nicely, so I can't know for sure. But yeah, they're not that. Norfolk DA taking heat for Karen Reed video statement. And guess what? Michael Morrissey, this is actually really funny. Michael Morrissey has a Google alert for himself. And the Google alert that he got was that his hostage video didn't go over well. And then he forwarded that to Greg Connor and Michael Connolly. And he didn't say anything. He just forwarded the Google alert. He's like, guys, everyone hates me. Look. But that also shows you, like, this is an embarrassing alert for Michael Morrissey. If he has the capacity to be embarrassed, I don't know for sure. But that's embarrassing. Like, it says, like, you stink. And he forwarded that to Greg Connor. Like, that's his boy. That's like the person that he trusts to be like, hey, everybody thinks I suck. Make me feel better. That is how close they are. We need to not let him win. Okay. Hank Brennan emails were, I don't even remember. They were wordy. I can't go through those right now. That one I kind of want to revisit because I don't remember. Okay, keep going down. There's Just on Roots file, which if you want to see, Fervent asked if Greg Connor is a party boy, which is Michael Proctor's group text. The only reason why I think no is because he's not that fun. Like, if he was fun, I think he would be. He looks like a Berenstain Bear. He looks like okay, this is what Greg Connor looks like to me. He looks like the person that had really strict parents in high school, so never got to like go out or do anything fun, and then got to college and got so drunk the very first night that like everybody was getting to know each other, and like threw up on himself, and then like didn't make a good first impression, and spent the entire rest of the time in college trying to remedy that. That's just what I get. It's the vibe. But if you want to see the comparison of what these exact same people, what they know how to do when they want to, look in Just en Route's folder. Because what was done to Just en Route, the way he was treated, the way his family's been treated, is horrible, awful, terrible. But because the police are the one, like, they want to protect themselves in this, everything is crossed their T's, dotted their I's. Every interview, let's see if I can find something quickly right now. First of all, 14 folders, hardly any redactions. Like, the only redactions are like personal information, last names. I want to find, oh, you know where I have these actually? I saved some stuff. I want to do a show where we just go over all of this, but then this came out. Every interview that they did there's a full transcript. Look, you guys are going to lose it. Hold on. Okay. Interview. So for the basis of comparison, think about what every single report that we've seen in Karen's case has looked like. It's like, I went to Jen McCabe's house. I introduced myself to her. I asked her, what did you do last night? She said nothing. I said, have a great day. That was that. That's even more detail probably actually than what it actually has. Okay, here's Yuri, who suddenly knows how to do an interview. This is some guy named Gil. We're not going to go over the content of it because it makes me sad and I need to prepare for that. But oh my goodness, look at all this. He drew a map. It's not a very good drawing. It's actually a terrible drawing. But he labeled this whole like map. It was seriously fucked up. Yeah, you know what's fucked up, Yuri? The fact that you didn't do this for John O'Keefe. Then look at this. Every single interaction. Thank you for coming. No problem. I appreciate it. Right. Just so you know, you're being audio and video recorded. Oh my gosh, you guys know how to do that? That's crazy. You didn't even do that when you talked to Karen. I wonder why. It's almost like you didn't want anybody to know what any of these conversations looked like or sounded like. Look at this. Could you spell your first and last name? They have like, yup. They have every single word that was said. This is incredible. Poor John O'Keefe never got any of this. And again, I do want to say, it is my personal opinion that they did this kind of in the same way that the only time we see this in Karen's case is in the Lucky interview, because they wanted to, in my opinion, but not even really because it's true, use that against Aiden, and they wanted to try to get Lucky to say that Aiden like wiretapped him, and they wanted that to be recorded. And I think that's what's happening here, where they're like, okay, record everything because the police were wrong in this case, and we need to be able to protect ourselves. Just in my opinion. Allegedly, apparently, whatever we're supposed to say. Okay, Sandra Birchmore's folder is also very interesting. There's a trial files video there. And I don't even remember what miscellaneous is. Brian Higgins emails were also not that exciting, which was a bummer. But maybe they are, and I just wasn't looking for the right information. Then there's this link that has some of the cool stuff that you guys have been doing. This is Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain's letter to Meatball Morrissey, trolling him. You might think that's crazy until you see how crazy the other side is in what they're sending. So if you have things that you find that you want to share your knowledge with everybody, send it to me in the easiest way for me to just copy and paste it so that I can just get it out to the people. Okay, here we go. This is the new stuff. Now, first I need to show you guys what I'm very proud of. While everybody else was like doing smart things and digging through the new documents and probably like sharing, I was making Judd Welcher flying through space. And then Kyle told me that I needed to add blue paint. So then I added blue paint. And there he is in space for his documents. Hello, cupcakes. I missed you guys when the last hour that I was apart from you. I spent the whole day with Melanie. I love her so much. Like, how is she just so good at what she does? Like, she makes this look so easy, and then I get here and I'm like, duh. She's just so good. And she was so cute when she was like, yeah, like it's really hot today. And I know people are going to want like to stay inside and stay cool. So I just like wanted to stream for a long time today so that you guys could have something to listen to. And I was like, I didn't even realize that I felt so good today because I just had her in my ear the whole time. Okay, this is what we have in this dump. Actually, no. I'm going to go back now to the very first thing that I was going to pull up 100 years ago. Also, you guys, I've been half-ass working on Docket Like It's Hot. That's going to be the sister site to FOIA and Find Out. And it's going to just have all of the like current cases that we're following, all the stuff that's just coming out from the court. Like I think that Kyle was saying earlier that something like just got, I don't know how to do the docket. Again, that's a Kyle and a Dee Dee suspicious sauce thing. I'm sure Boozy knows how to do it because she's like brilliant and knows how to do everything. Kyle has explained to me how to do the docket. So this is 100% on me. I have like a tutorial from him saved that's like, you go here, you type this, you do that. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like more fun when I just wait for you guys to get everything. So they get everything and they've been sharing it out on Twitter, but then it just kind of like dies into the abyss as like more tweets pile up after it. And then it's hard to like remember what we had back then. Melanie's rant today was, she's amazing. So Docket Like It's Hot is going to just be somewhere that all the court documents like that we're currently following live in one place. I started saving them and then I realized that some of them are going to be like so boring and nobody's ever going to look at them, but then at least they're there because that's so cute. You had Mel in one ear and me in the other. That would give, I don't know how you could possibly do that. That would give me such a headache. I feel like your brain would be like ping ponging. A tranche. They did use that word. Where did I just hear that word? I like that word. A tranche. Feels like a made up word. Tranche. I like it though. And somebody said they like the, Docket Like It's Hot. I do too, but I really liked the one that lost in the voting. I really liked Docket Full of Sunshine because it feels like sunlight is the best disinfectant. And then we could do like, I got a docket full of sunshine. But then I said that to Trial Channel and she said, I hate you now. I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. So It's probably better that didn't win. Anyways, here is this tranche. It starts off with 176 pages of Karen Reed's interview with Gretchen Voss. Now, again, if anybody's already gone through this and knows if there's anything like exciting, let me know, because I feel like that could be either like the most boring thing that we've ever read if we already read Gretchen Voss's article, or it could be really interesting to know like what she included, what she didn't. I don't know. And then another 17 pages of interviews. Then there's the transcript of her 2020 episode. The transcript of an episode is like the silliest thing that the Commonwealth collected, because it's not like, okay, you're not going to get, I mean, Hank thought that he was like getting Karen confessing on TV. Like, can we just think about how stupid that is for a second? The clips that he played in court, he was basically insinuating like Karen went on 2020. And even though she's pleading not guilty and she's fighting for her life and she's paying these lawyers all this money, she just went on to 2020 and admitted that she hit John. Like, that is what Hank was insinuating with every single clip from the media that he played. Now, I do understand that there's like leakage and people kind of like inadvertently confess to things when they're asked a tricky question or something. That's not what happened to Karen. Like, she did not go on 2020 and confess. So the transcript of the interview is interesting because there's more information than you just got from reading the article. The transcript of the episode is just like, ooh, good one. It's like tonight on 2020. Silly. This is back to the very beginning when somebody asked what the CARS report was. CARS stands for Collision Analysis and Reconstruction Section, and that is Trooper Joe Paul, justice for Joe Paul. He was given an impossible question, and he did the best he could because John wasn't hit by a car. So it's impossible to sound smart trying to explain how John got hit by a car when he didn't. There is no way to sound smart doing that. And he just chose the path of, it just did. This also came with, so you guys, this made me so mad. We actually might need to start here. You know how we were even talking in Squirrel School last night, like every single picture that was taken of the scene and the taillight, there's like one picture of like one little piece of taillight. You can't tell where it is in the yard. There's no context. It's blurry. It's like in a potato. Now I want to show you how many pictures they took. This like actually truly makes me angry. This is where they're trying to prove that Karen's, okay, I guess I shouldn't say prove, but it is prove. This is where they're trying to see if Karen's car could have hit John's car in a way that cracked her taillight. Now, something that the antis always annoy me so much about is nobody is saying that Karen's taillight got like that from hitting John's car. We're all saying that it got a little crack in it that both Kerry Roberts and Nicholas Barrows described as like a little bit smaller than a dollar bill, and it's a rectangle, and there was a piece missing, and blah, blah, blah. And everything else happened later. But anyways, here they're trying to figure out, prove, whatever, if Karen's car could have gotten damaged by hitting John's car. Look at how many pictures they took of this car just sitting here. Look how clear the pictures are. Oh, suddenly we know how to measure and we know how to zoom. And I guess somebody in John's family now is driving his car because this weirded me out for a second that it had his sticker on it. I was like, wait, how would that have happened? Then I realized his car's not impounded. So somebody in his family is driving it now, and that's nice. Happy for them. Look at all these pictures. Look at this. Oh my goodness. We're not even, look where we are in the document. We're still at the tippy top. Oh, we can zoom in. Oh, we know how to zoom. We know how to do angles. We know how to get context. None of these are even do anything. Nothing is happening. You're not showing anything. Okay. Now, oh, look. If you back up at that angle, the taillight doesn't touch the other taillight. Oh, wow. It's almost like maybe she'd backed up at a different angle. Also, these are touching. So, yeah, there's so many pictures. We're not even halfway done. Look at all these. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Oh, there's space in between. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Wow. Good job. Now, just for basis of comparison, I have a folder called scene photos. Seems like maybe like the crime scene. Well, technically that wasn't the crime scene. That was a crime scene. There was the actual crime scene that we'll never see. Yes, let's see this. This is Canton PD scene photos. They're all taken on different days. There's taillight in a footprint. That's a cool one. There's zoomed out taillight in a footprint. Okay. There's the berm. There's where John was found. There's somebody just walking down the road in the snow. And there's some snow that we can't tell. There's no context what we're looking at or anything. This one is actually interesting because I realized that John's hat is supposedly like right here. You guys see a hat there? This is exactly where they find John's hat 3 days later. Right about here. You guys see a hat? I don't. Can you please compare the handwritten letter to Michael Proctor's evidence bag, please? Are there handwritten notes, Michael Proctor has notes? I haven't seen them yet. Is that what you're asking, if Michael Proctor has notes in here to compare the handwriting? Yes, I would like to do that. And then look, oh my goodness, the scene is done. That's all. 20 pictures. 20 pictures. This one, 140. They took 140 pictures of John O'Keefe's car. And then, not only that, look at this. At the end of that document, they were like, this isn't enough. We should also make a video, because then we would really be able to show that if you back up at this exact angle, that may or may not be the angle that Karen backed up in, then the taillight doesn't touch the car. And they made a whole video of it. And they actually hit the cars. Hold on. This really sums up Trooper Paul. What number was that? 40. Okay, 48. Okay. I have that like VLC player, and it annoys me because you can't like pause a video. It like just stops the video. Hold on. Okay. Look at that. If you back up in a totally different way than Karen did, then you hit the car in a different angle. Like, what is going on? They went to John's house and took a bunch of pictures of the car also at his house. This looks like it was somewhere else. I also got very confused when all of that was happening because suddenly the weather's nice. Like, there's no, maybe it's in Trooper Paul's report. So something else that's in here, and if anything like piques your interest and we want to go like slower or actually read some things, let me know. But this is Trooper Paul's report. I like to think with this report that most of the cars, people don't put two Massachusetts State Police logos at the top, but that like Trooper Paul thought that looked cool. So he put both of them. Like, I feel like most of the officers probably just have like one logo at the tippy top, but he was like, two logos. Like, guys, doesn't that look awesome? Because that's Trooper Paul to me. He's just like a little boy. His report is, have you guys seen this? If like enough people haven't, we could look at this because it's kind of interesting just to see that he like does kind of write a good report. Like, it's not good in the fact that like he's wrong, but he like follows the rules. Like, look at this. He has all these things labeled. Oh, this is like an overhead bird's eye view of John's house and like right garage, Chevy's location. Paragraph 7 is interesting. Okay, let's get to paragraph 7. So then it's like he has the weather report. He has the Lexus backing up. The Lexus does not appear to be traveling at a high rate of speed. Oh, this is, guys, I was just being really dumb. This is actually different than the one we saw before. This is them. Okay, this makes sense now. That's why it's supplemental. Got it. My brain just caught up to my mouth. So we have the other report that's about the like accident. And then this is about the damage to her car. Get it now. Got it. The snow on the Chevy. Okay. The Lexus does not appear to be traveling at a high rate of speed. The Lexus strikes the left rear to middle with its right rear. The snow on the Chevy does not move during this interaction. There was a slight movement of the Chevrolet. Remember when Yuri tried so hard just to pretend that, like, even though everybody in the room could see the car move back and forth, he was like, yeah, I don't know. After this interaction, the Lexus pulls forward and to the left and then exits the driveway. The rear of the Lexus is visible, and the right rear taillight appears to be missing part of the red outer cover. The Chevrolet does not appear to have any damage to it, and the snow is still attached to the vehicle. There are no visible pieces of taillight at the scene. Throughout this investigation, there were no taillight pieces recovered from the driveway. Are you saying that's interesting because it doth protest too much? Like, no, we didn't recover any pieces from the driveway. Maybe it went into the taillight housing. And then these are pictures from that experiment that they did. During my inspection, I analyzed the rear of the Chevy for damage. Now, hold on. This is so much later than they're in t-shirts. Like, there is no snow. They're literally in short sleeves. Like, what do you mean I analyzed the rear for damage? If there was damage at that point, it could have been because Peg was backing up at Whole Foods and she bumped into somebody there. Like, if there was not damage, they could have gotten it fixed in the like year that you waited to do this. What? What are you what are you inspecting? The left rear taillight was measured to be approximately 41.5 to 48 inches from the ground. And the bumper was this high from the ground, blah, blah, blah. Karen's car makes me like more and more sad every time. I swear that they like started like making the car look worse and worse as the trial and everything progressed. Like the first couple pictures in the first trial didn't look this bad. Kelly has the handwritten letter, by the way. You'll love it. It's an odd one. Kelly has the handwritten letter. What does that mean? Kelly has the handwritten letter. I'm sure I will. I trust you. I just probably my brain is not working today. Yeah, so there's all that. They talk about that some more. The Chevy and the Lexus were placed with the left rear but like you didn't reenact what Karen did when she pulled out of the driveway. So what are we even doing? Like that's not why didn't they just do it in his driveway or just set it up the same way? All right, those pictures are not reliable and they aren't even wearing John's clothes or using blue paint. Like, come on. Where like what underwear are they wearing? They need to be in Karen's clothes. Remember Karen Higgins said that Karen was wearing like knee-high boots. He had like a detail where he was like, yeah, Karen walked in wearing like tall boots. If Trooper Paul didn't put on Karen's boots, then I don't want it. Also, when things hit, they like can get closer than what they do if you're trying not to hit something. So, like when a car accident actually happens, there can be more like there's a crushing. So things can get closer. And then because a bumper is designed to like take the force of another object, you can hit a bumper and have the bumper kind of go like in and out. And then with that motion, you could hit the other tail light and not have damage to the bumper because that is the intention of a bumper and still break the tail light. Why do I need to explain science to these people? Wouldn't he look really cute? Fridgebreaker69 said, I'm picturing Pirouette Paul and Karen's, I'm going to call them, they're like Karen's F Me boots. Yeah, he would look amazing. I feel like Trooper Paul would like walk nicely in heels. Trooper Paul has a face for makeup. Like his bone structure and his like eyebrows. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, you would look really cute with like a smoky eye. So, oh, wow. Like the bumpers are touching and there's approximately a 2.5-inch gap between the taillights, almost like if they were traveling a little bit faster and you weren't trying to not hit each other, then that space would have been closed. Like, have they ever seen a car accident? Like, cars get crushed. Mackenzie Sharilla's car got completely obliterated. Like, why these materials are pliable and oh my goodness, they're so dumb. I drove the Lexus in reverse and struck the right rear of the Chevy with the left rear of the Lexus while I was traveling under 1 mile per hour. Oh, so now Karen just goes so slow. Like Karen went from driving 24.2 miles per hour for 62 feet backwards, but now she's driving out of the driveway and she's like, 1 mile per hour, so slow. The backup alarms made an audible noise and appeared to be working properly. The Lexus left rear taillight did not touch the rear of the Chevy. Oh, the only evidence of these vehicles touching were brushing of the dirt. But I thought you said the snow didn't move. Yeah. The universe said to John DePietro, you're going to learn today. I've been trying to teach you for this entire 2-year saga, and you're just not listening. And now I need to punish you. And John DePietro backed up into a hilarious woman's car from Texas. And that is how you know that the universe has a sense of humor, because that was the funniest thing that could have happened that day. He backed up slowly, his taillight shattered. If only he had actually learned from that. If he was like, oh my gosh, like that would have been icing on the cake. If he was like, oh my, I seen the light. Yeah, so we have diagrams. Suddenly we know how, okay. Pedestrian contact analysis. The damage to the right rear of the Lexus appears to be, okay, so it could not have been from that little, it couldn't have been from what we just saw, where we could literally see that they could touch and crack, but it's from the experiment that Yuri and Trooper Paul, left to their own devices, came up with, and then Judd Welcher just copied later on and stood in this exact same stupid position. Yeah, there's Yuri. And Sergeant Buchanan and John O'Keefe are approximately 6'3". Is Yuri 6'3"? He looks shorter than that to me. I saw him once in person, but he was sitting down for most of it. He does not strike me as 6'3". I get like 5'11" vibes. Not that that's bad, but he just doesn't seem like 6'3". Yeah. And kind of slouchy, like there, he's like trying to stand up nice and tall. He looks like a guy that's been trying to like stand up straighter to look taller his whole life. This is information where it's like, oh, you know the terms that I don't. The cosmetic bumper is also 4 to 5 inches from the actual structural bumper. Our side is so smart, you guys. The other people are like, look, his arm can touch the tail light. So that's how Karen killed John. Gift from Jesus. Yeah, Mitchell, we need to get Trooper Paul. Look at him, he's bending over. He's doing the same thing that Judd did. Neither of them could actually make this work, so they both had to lean in. So awkward. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Also, I think that now that we've seen Yuri on the cruise, I feel like he has gotten in a little better shape since this time. Opinions. Really long opinion here. That signature is exactly what I would picture Trooper Paul's signature to be. Throughout this investigation, it was determined that the damage to the right rear was more likely caused by the Lexus striking the pedestrian, John O'Keefe, than striking the rear of the Chevy when the Lexus was backing out of the garage. Respectfully, Trooper Paul, it was neither. So the damage that you saw on Karen's car, that was done by your friends at the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police Department. The initial damage was done by the Chevy, and John didn't get hit by a car. You're welcome. Cute signature, though. Look at that little tiny sideways trooper. It was like he didn't know if he was supposed to write trooper, and he like added it later after he just did his signature. These tests on Karen's car caused the damage after she got it back. That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even looking at the pictures from trial 1 to trial 2, I feel like her car kept getting more and more damaged. And people online were saying like, oh, I wanted to go see if there was any other damage that they missed or something on the bumper. Like, how do people not realize anything extra that is there doesn't matter because the car has been all sorts of places since then. That's why usually police departments like to keep track of their chain of custody so they know like where things have been. No, not these guys. Okay. Now that's small. That's bigger. Okay. That's not what I was doing before. We were going through the thing that I don't have up anymore, the cover sheet. Okay. Cars report. An email dated October 25th, 2024. Whenever something sounds a little sketchy like that, like they don't really want you to look at it and they don't want to say what it is, that's what I want to see. Let's see. Who's Daniel Linden? No doxing, but if you know, Daniel Linden. Just wanted to let Hank know some things. Let's see. Hey, Daniel Linden. Oh, also, there's an interesting document in here. It's a FOIA request from Kevin Reddington, and it's like a lot of pages of information about juries. We need to go through this. I need your guys' take on it. I opened it briefly and I was like, oh, interesting. What's this? Okay. From Daniel Linden with a accent over the E. Daniel Linden. How would you accent the E there? Daniel Lindian. Key Cycle Data Insights. Dear Hank Brennan, I wanted to share some insights regarding the key cycle data related to Trooper Paul's findings. I think you'll find it helpful. Trooper Paul focused on and this was on October 25th, 2024. So after the first trial, before the second. Trooper Paul focused on the odometer reading and assumed the triggers in key cycle 1164 were part of his testing. However, the odometer readings for the first event in key cycles 1164 and 1167 are identical. He testified that he noted the odometer reading at the beginning of his testing. Is that note still in evidence? Where are you going with this? I believe the triggers in key cycle 1164 occurred at the end of Karen and her father's trip from One Meadows to Dighton. Okay, I agree. Well, kind of. The triggers on 1164 are more consistent with a vehicle struggling in the snow, than with Paul's testing. There are rapid changes from forward to reverse gear with as little as 3 seconds in between. Buchanan described the snow in Karen's parents' driveway being knee to waist high. It was not waist high unless Gary Buchanan is really short. You just gave yourself away. You're not 6'3". We knew it. Barrows testified that the snow was over a foot deep and requested plowing. The ground clearance of an LX570 is 8.9 inches. The driveway in Dighton is over 100 feet long and cannot be seen on video in its entirety. In particular, the section between the road and the driveway where plowed snow would accumulate is not visible. Based on the Reed's arrival time in Dighton, 2:12, and the elapsed time at the last trigger in the key cycle 1164, 1 hour and 36 minutes, the start time of key cycle 1164 would be approximately 12:35. In conclusion, the key cycles in the vehicle control history data would be as follows. 1162, Waterfall to 34 Fairview to One Meadows. 1163, One Meadows to Waterfall to Jen McCabe's house to One Meadows. 1164, One Meadows to Dighton. 1165, Dighton to tow truck. 1166, tow truck to Sallyport. 1167, Trooper Paul's testing. Oh, so we like this person. Oh, I thought when it was an email to Hank that it was going to be one of those weird ones. Yeah. Daniel Linden, you're cool. So you're saying that none of those had a collision. Turtle Boy reported that Karen and her father took Route 138 to Dighton, Canton Cover Up Part 327. Thank you for reviewing these insights. I hope this helps clarify the details. Let me know if you have any questions. Good. Tully was like, please don't make me do anything. I retired. Daniel Linden, are you out there? Nice work. And how do you pronounce your last name? That's a smart way to, like, the other side sent some very aggressive emails. His was very polite. I like that. Okay. There was a supplemental report for Shannon Burgess. I am guessing, I haven't seen this. Oh, bummer for him. I haven't seen this yet. Oh, no, this isn't that. Never mind. October 17th. I thought it was going to be the supplemental report, as in what he wrote, just like mid-trial. But I guess we're not there yet. We still have so much to go. Okay. This was October 17th, 2024. Is this when Brian Tully went all the way to South Lake, Texas, just to like hang out with Shannon Burgess and take apart a circuit board? Because I'm not going to read this because it says, or at least not this part, because it's talking about things that I don't understand at all, like automotive grade Linux and binary file acquired, blah, blah, blah. And code depicts binary files. Yeah, I don't understand any of that. If one of you does, cool. I don't think that Shannon Burgess understands this either, to be perfectly honest. Maybe he does. Further testing will determine whether the expected Linux-based file system and user data are stored on the spansion. One of my favorite moments was when, what was our first guy's name? I can never remember his name. That like cute little kind of mousy guy, who was there with Shannon Burgess, and they were asking him like, Hank was like, well, didn't you think it was great when Shannon Burgess like opened up the card and found the extra of like whatever was there? I can't even remember right now. And Matthew DeSogra, that was his name. DeSogra was like, yeah, like he kind of found it by accident, but yeah, okay, that was great. Like he did great. And it was so funny. And the first time that Hank was asking DeSogra about Shannon Burgess, you just knew. It was like when you ask somebody about a person that they do not like at all, and they're like, oh yeah, like he was fine. Like Hank was like, didn't you spend a weekend with him? And he was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, DeSogra did have a pretty face. It was like he was just like wholesome. Like, oh, you're just it felt so refreshing, I think, was when he got on the stand. It was like, oh, you're just like a random expert that knows this one like Linux stuff that I don't know really well. And you don't know the people involved in this. You're not here to like prove one thing or another. You were asked to solve a problem. You figured out what the answer was in your best expert opinion, and you're testifying about it. You're not like in an argument with Hank. Like Hank was like trying to argue with him, and he was like, yeah, no, like I didn't really do that. And it was so refreshing after seeing Judd Welcher just like have his entire pride on the line if he couldn't prove that John was hit by a car. And guess what? You can't prove that John was hit by a car because he wasn't. When are we going to get that through our heads? Okay. Then that's basically everything that's in the first one. Okay. Are you guys ready? Chloe apparently exists. And read my statement above. Okay. Where? I literally think Brennan took this and intentionally tried to create a mistrial or fub. Yes, he got paid good and followed through, but don't believe he wanted to. What do they have on him? Interesting. I have a friend that like knows Hank personally, and for a while I was like very reluctant for him to like talk me into this because I was like, no, Hank is all bad and I know that he's bad. He basically made it sound like Hank was promised a lot of money and promised a win, and he hadn't really followed things leading up to it. Now, again, I'm not excusing anything because at 2 days in, you could look at John's autopsy photos and be like, wait, this guy wasn't hit by a car. Let's back the truck up. But apparently Hank is not very happy with his like life choices because of this, which again, going back to the very beginning, if you don't do bad things, then you don't have to feel bad about the bad things that you did. Andrea Burkhart has a running joke that Hank is a plant for the feds and was constantly trying to get a mistrial, but Bev wouldn't do it. That's really funny. Andrea Burkhart's best line of any of the Law Tubers lines in the entire thing was when she said, I wish your dad had pulled out, right? Something like that. Love her. Okay, buckle up. And also maybe trigger warning. I haven't gone through all of these pictures yet, so I don't know for sure, but I felt a little bit weird looking at the ones that I did see. Apparently, Chloe exists, even though it's not like Chloe can be like, yeah, I'm Chloe. Like, the Alberts mistreated me for years. So how do we really know for sure? But in this folder, which one is it? None of them are labeled in a way that makes me think that any of them are the right ones. Let me see. Yeah. Did they ask Chloe like how she was identifying these days? Like, are you Chloe or are you Cora? What are your pronouns? What would you like to be referred to as? Maybe she changed her name to Cora because she was like, don't make me go back to the Albert family. I'm Cora now. I'm in witness protection program. Those people are scary. I hated them. They made me do bad things. This is an invoice. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but it's not exciting. I'm trying to find, where is it? Does anyone know which one of these files? Ooh, we can read that if we can't find it right away. That's the Matt McCabe email. Let me look in one other place. Yeah, Chloe did not like being called it. Remember that book, A Child Called It, that everybody in my age bracket read when we were kids and shouldn't have been reading because it was like the most depressing book on earth? Why did we all read that? Did you guys all read The Face on the Milk Carton? Because that book messed me up. I was like, was I kidnapped? My mom was like, I have a picture of you like in my arms right after you were born. And I was like, I don't know for sure. Am I going to see my face on a milk carton someday? Material sent? No. I promise you, if we find these pictures, it will be worth it. Report. I did it. I did it. Here we go. Yeah, poor Chloe. But now you might think maybe not poor Chloe, because if this is Chloe, let me see if I have that. What's it called? 6. Okay. I'm going to open it here because then I can zoom better. She looks kind of bloodthirsty. Like, I don't think this did for them what they thought it was going to, because my dog. Nope. Fervent, how'd you just get in there? We'll do that in a minute. I did not mean to do that. Okay. How is this different than... Okay, we're doing a fervent break because now I can't find anything. Yay. See you guys in a minute when I get my life back together.
I'll put you on a playlist. Oh, sorry, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and KG, the real big threes, you Nettie, Bob, and me. Gonna come with the C, don't try me. You should know by now I always come with receipts. I'm out here penning letters like my name better roll. You got problems, Cox, and I think the federal attorney Corey Hopkins sure let them know this ain't an episode, this a whole damn show. I don't get nervous, I make people nervous. I don't get nervous, I make people nervous. Ajax out here eliminating all you greasy motherfuckers. Ha ha ha. I'll put you on a Brady list. I'm gonna make you pay for this. Oh, yeah, AJ's dangerous. Ooh, I'll put you on a Brady list. Oh, you up into my office. Got you flowers and some chocolate. I don't really do this often, but I think we need some talking. First off, is it Deva or Diva? I think I have liver fever, but before we take this deeper, I need to know if you're a keeper. What did you see in the salad bowl? Are you sure? When the feds came, why did you sing? You should've knew better and gave me a ring. Know this and know this only before you go and give your testimony. Officer Deva, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. This ain't a bribe, but if you tell the truth, there goes that 9 to 5. No more 6-figure salary. If you say what you saw on that Sally Port screen, I have your back. Unless they ask me some questions, I'll have your back. Until I throw you under the bus, I'll have your back. Let this be a lesson, I'll have your back. Really means I won't have your back. When the feds came, why did you sing? You should've knew better and gave me a ring. Know this and know this only before you go and give your testimony. Officer Deva, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Unfortunately, Kelly, You're the only one going down. There won't be a public records lawsuit that'll expose me or anything.
What I did was so funny. This was the most me thing ever. I reorganized the folders so that all of the documents would be like all the Crosby things would be together. And then I forgot I did that and couldn't find the folder that it was in. So now I have it. And you guys, this is so funny. So that Daniel Linden guy, Romy just sent me a link to his Twitter. So I looked it up. I have him blocked. What did you do to me? I'm going to deep dive that later. Maybe we don't like him. Okay. And it was probably better that I did this because they have pictures of John's injuries, and I'm going to skip over those. This is Dr. Crosby. What was his first name? James Crosby. He is apparently a dog dentician. Suddenly he can identify bite marks on dogs, even though that's not a real science. That's not okay. Anyways, dog dentition measurements methodology. Yeah, I'm confused now. I'm going to do a little deep dive later. Like when I interviewed Adam Deitch, I was asking him like, what takeaways did you have from your time with the Innocence Project? And he literally said, like, we've the like understanding of bite mark analysis has grown to the point that like it doesn't stand up in court anymore to say like that bite mark came from this person, because the angle that somebody bites can change the way that like the bite mark looks. Somebody could like lose a tooth. Your teeth can shift. Same thing with the dog. This is actually, wait, I'm going to pull it down for 1 second so I don't go over the injuries, but I want to know the date. Or maybe he also, okay, he has a long, January 24th, 2025. And he starts off, Dear Mr. Brennan, this report is preliminary, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, attached to this document is my full CV. I can pull this up. I just don't want to get to the injuries. However, to summarize my qualifications, I have been recognized as an expert on dog behavior, dog aggression, and dog bite investigation for over 47 courts based on my extensive experience and training. Now, isn't that interesting that he has basically the same experience resume as that guy whose name I'm not going to be able to think of right now, that Melanie interviewed. And Bev like had a conniption that he was gonna, what was his name? The guy who has the police family, dogs, all the things. Garrett Wing, thank you. Yeah. Garrett Wing just had such a like passionate, my like favorite thing about like people in general is when you see somebody like just nerding out about the thing that they're like excited about. And I feel like that was how he got when he was talking about dogs and dog bites. Like he understood dog bites in a way that I've never heard. Like I just thought like dog bites bad, but then he's explaining like this is why we need to train dogs to bite in this certain way, and when they do know how to bite in this certain way, that it's like it doesn't hurt the person as much. Like, and he was so cute. Like he's like, when I was 8 years old, I took my first dog bite. Like that, he would have been a little like breath of fresh air again after like the Shannon Burgesses of the world. But anyways, I guess this guy didn't come up either, so it's neither here nor there. He has a PhD in veterinary medical science from the College of Veterinary Medicine, University of Florida, a bunch of other degrees, certified behavior consultant, canine knowledge assessed. He's worked with the Florida Animal Control Association and hey, Mizzy, and the Alabama Animal Control Association and the national. He went Florida, Alabama, national, Alberta. He went international, London. Good job, Mr. Crosby. And then you ended up in Norfolk County trying to prove that something that did happen didn't happen. Okay. Canine Aggression Consulting LLC. I can already tell this guy is wordy. Wait. Grave investigation. Bev would have liked that. That's not right. Hold on. Stop screen. Okay. There we go. Figured it out. I served as acting chief of animal. This is a wordy guy. Okay. I'm going to go over the arm injuries. Oh, he was a police officer too. You're on their side. Good job. Canineaggression@gmail.com if you guys want to reach out to him. Materials examined, 72 color digital autopsy photos. Well, at least they knew how to take pictures of that. That's good. Oh my God, there's a lot of rambling. He's very wordy. He read the transcript of Dr. Scorty Bellows' trial testimony, transcript of Dr. Marie Russell's testimony, transcript of Marie Russell's voir dire. Then he says the cause of Mr. O'Keefe's death was blunt impact injuries of head and hypothermia. No, it wasn't. Dr. La Posada taught us that wasn't true. Okay, actually, we can look at this part. I just don't want to get to the... Okay. I was asked to examine the evidence in this case, including images, reports, and the involved dog itself. Yeah, the involved dog. You get it. The end. The dog was involved. That's all I needed to hear. And determine, if possible, the potential source and nature of the defects documented on the right arm of decedent John O'Keefe. I was particularly asked if I could determine to a scientific degree of certainty whether those defects were consistent with a dog bite or other animal bite. But did you think they came from a tail light? Okay. Now, for real, going over those. Poor John. Okay. Dog dentition measurements and methodology. I traveled to Chloe's current residence in Vermont for an examination of her teeth and paws. Chloe is a generally healthy 9-year-old domestic dog, appearing to be a German Shepherd dog or mix thereof. Well, we know that she was a mix, so maybe this wasn't the right dog. I met Chloe. This is so funny. I met Chloe on her home property. I picture him being like, "Hi, Chloe, I'm Crosby." She displayed normal human affiliation and approached willingly to within touch distance. For the dental examination, Chloe was sedated by a veterinarian. Once she became, nope, never seen that word before in my life, quiescent. Quiescent? Yeah. Look, we solved it. Finally, we did it. Music to my soul gets it. Involved dog. That's all we needed to know. I then used the American Board of Forensic Odontology, junk science, number 2 plastic L-shaped evidence ruler. I took photos from the frontal and lateral positions. These included the frontal dentition, the side dentition from front to rear, and length of the upper and lower canine teeth. Now, again, this is in 2025, and John lost his life in 2022, and dogs' teeth change. My Teddy just was like chewing on a bone and playing one day, and then one of his teeth just fell out. Like, it wasn't even bleeding or anything. There wasn't like a hole. It just like fell out of his mouth. It was the weirdest thing. But I think that happens to dogs sometimes when they get old. They don't brush their teeth the way that they don't have dental care the way that we do. Chloe's dentition was generally normal. Parksy, you did not just have to do that. You're so sweet. Mrs. Parks just sent $99.99, which you so did not just have to do. And said, I caught an Emily C. live. Happy belated 1-year YouTube anniversary, Queen. Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your long weekend. I am. You want to know why? Because I did no parenting today. My husband was home from work and I was like, I need a break. And I got a break and it was great. And I used it to do weird things on my computer, looking at zooming into pictures of 34 Fairview. So, thank you. You're so sweet. That was so generous of you. And you're wonderful. I took photos from frontal and lateral positions. Chloe's dentition was generally normal for a dog her age, almost like it's 3 years later. Sorry, I will pause for Kyle Sharkey every time. Hey, M, minor off topic. If you were unable to get the video from, yeah, I was. I had a feeling that she was going to upload it before I even could figure out my computer. Trial Channel's the best. Chloe's dentition was normal for a dog her age, but she was 3 years younger when this happened. So what does that even mean? The lower incisors, remember when Hank was saying incisor tooth, displayed significant wear to the contact surfaces consistent with a dog that has chewed on hard objects, such as rocks or a metal fence for many years. That sounds like your dog has anxiety from living with the Alberts. The upper surfaces of the lower incisors were generally level with the lower gum demarcation. Her lower left canine tooth had the tip broken off approximately 4 millimeters from the end. Almost like you don't know if that happened yesterday or 5 years ago. So the end, throw the whole thing away. There's no way that you can prove one way or the other, except by using logic, which is that in the morning when they were outside of 34 Fairview, there was no dog barking, and that's all I need to know. The photos were taken using a Sony digital camera model Alpha 6. That sounds like better than the potato that the Canton Police Department uses. Images were recorded directly to the storage card. Okay, look, this is a bloodthirsty dog. I know that she's sedated and I know that no dogs are bad dogs, but this looks like a dog that likes to bite people. Chloe get Invisaligns. My dog doesn't look so aggressive when I do this to his mouth. And like, what are we doing here? Okay, I guess he's going to put it all together. So there's a whole bunch of pictures like this. This picture looks to me like, remember those like vampire teeth that you would get like on Halloween and they'd make your mouth be like so foamy with spit? I feel like that's what Chloe, Cora, this random dog, George, whatever their name is, looks like. Oh, look, there's little labels. Let's see. Lower incisor distance and profile. Lower intercanine distance. Okay, real exciting stuff. Okay. Oh, cool ring. Okay, Crosby. I like your jade ring. Measurements in the photographs of Mr. O'Keefe are based on the linear comparison of hospital band and the defects. I obtained a new hospital band of the same manufacturer type and use the Good Samaritan medical bracelet. What? Okay. This is exciting. He did a bunch of measuring. Oh no, I can't show those. Lesion group 1 is the collection of what appear to be dark reddish linear surface abrasions located proximal to the shoulder of Mr. O'Keefe's right arm. These are parallel abrasions consisting of 2 relatively wide abrasions with a fainter abrasion or defect located between the wider defects. There is also a faint reddish discoloration just distal to the larger of the parallel abrasions. There are also 2 roughly parallel dark reddish abrasions. This is too wordy for me already. In this case, due to I was actually going to ask you guys this. If somebody like is no longer alive, like when we talk about like there was no bruising, if somebody dies very quickly from an injury, would there be bruising? Because that's one thing I've always wondered, and I've never heard the antis like come back with it. But I like, to me, that's the one argument where when we're like, there's no bruises. It's like, if he died very quickly, would he have a bruise, even if he was hit by a car? I don't want to give them any ideas, but if indeed they all happened at the same time, the skin of Mr. O'Keefe's arm or the position of the objects relative to the arm may have varied. Bruising happens fast. Okay. Yeah, but like would it be as bad? Like, you know how if you I'm so clumsy. I bump into the edge of my bed like once a week at least, and I like have a consistent bruise in the exact same spot at the top of my thigh. And I feel like when I bump into it, it hurts right away. But then the next day is when the bruise gets really bad. But bruising wouldn't like continue. No, the blood has left and gone to the lowest part of the body. Yeah. Yeah. It does show up later. His heart and blood were pumping for a few more hours. But Dr. La Posada, who I worship to the church of Queen La Posada, said that he could have died as quickly as like 20 minutes. Yeah. Should we call up Dr. La Posada? Like, when Aiden will like get mad at somebody in the middle of a stream and be like, I'm calling John Como. Like, can we do the opposite and be like, I'm calling Dr. La Posada? Like, hi, Lizbeth. I have a question. Explain bruising. Okay. We'll figure it out, guys. We got this. In my experience and training in wound analysis, the larger abrasions are of such shape to be consistent with an engagement of some sharp or semi-sharp object beginning at the dorsal surface of the arm and proceeding to the palmar area of the arm, or from bottom to top in the photo. The measured distance between the rough centers of the origin points of the abrasions are blah, blah, blah. This is already, again, getting too wordy. Okay, Craftastical, this looks like you know what you're talking about. Post-mortem bruising. While rare, physical injuries and trauma occurring shortly after death can sometimes cause small, localized bruises while the blood is still fluid. Well, somebody tell the forensic girls that should be their argument back to us every time that we talk about how there was no bruising if he was hit by a car. Why have they never thrown that back at us? Ladies, step up your argument. Okay, hold on. Remove for a sec. Okay. I'm going to just describe to you what he's labeling in this picture because I know that YouTube doesn't like this, but he is showing a picture of John's arm, and there's like an arch, almost the same way that you would have an arch at the top of your mouth. And then there's like a bite, like a sun, like bite mark, bite mark, bite mark. And then it just says area of supposed bite. Well, I don't know. It looks like you just diagrammed a bite to me. Counting from left to right frame, there are 3 lesions we shall label A and B and C from left to right. And then he talks about those for a lot. A hole and tear wound is recognized within the field of dog bite appraisal and investigation as a common occurrence in dog bite cases, but is not considered pathognomonic. I remember that word from Dr. Russell. I don't know what it means. Flanking dark red abrasions A and C indicate some similar directionality. Well, there's 2 questions. It's either a dog bite or a tail light. Which one do you think it's closer to? Like, we don't need to match it up exactly. Documentation of Chloe is as follows. This is a very wordy man. Do you say anything that is, hold on, that is like layman's terms that just sums it up? Where's the summary? Let's go to the summary. Current opinions. Okay, wait. Current opinions. Note, I am not a physician. Well, okay. Yeah, you just spent 7 pages telling us your entire life story. We know that. I am not licensed to treat injuries or illnesses in human patients. However, this case is not about the treatment of victim John O'Keefe's injuries or wounds. Mr. O'Keefe, according to reliable medical opinion, did not die from dog bites. Right. Nobody said he did. Okay, so he didn't, we ruled that out. He did not die from dog bites. Mr. O'Keefe did not die from malpractice or from medical misconduct. Well, I'm glad we ruled something out also that was not on the table. He also did not die in a plane crash. But that's just a random thing to say because I guess that's what we're doing here. There are no allegations before the court that allege Mr. O'Keefe received other than proper and skilled medical treatment. Thus, any opinion regarding the medical treatment of Mr. O'Keefe is inapplicable to the issues at hand, irrelevant, and has no impact on my opinions or the opinions that have been asked of me. He's just saying random things now. He's like, so there were good doctors that tried to save him. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. In accordance with the above described procedures and methodology, I have come to the following specific conclusions regarding the defects present and the interpretation thereof. 1. Oh my God, he just repeats himself over and over again. All the same things in the dark red and this and that. Based on these factors and with my experience and training, I can state to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty that this was not a bite from Chloe, and likewise to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty, not a bite from any domestic dog. What? Because the colors? He says because there were bold linear marks and one lighter reddish mark between them. Just because of the measurements? Neither does this group of lesions show that the expected horseshoe-shaped profile. No, sir. That horseshoe-shaped profile is the top of Chloe's mouth. How come I have to tell you this? Like, it's this shape. It's okay. It's not a dog's paw or toenail. Another thing that nobody said it was. So it is highly unlikely that this was inflicted by Chloe's paw. Okay. Lesion group 2. So he's basically just dancing around like this one wound is not this one thing, and it could be the other thing, but I'm not going to say that. What is with these people? Like, all just to get a paycheck. I'm going to look up. We have in here what he got paid. The lesion profiles, blah, blah, blah. I still not saying anything that is even worth reading. Okay. It is my professional opinion based on my extensive training and experience and research that any identification of the lesions to the right arm of John O'Keefe as dog bites are a misinterpretation consistent with the human condition termed pareidolia. Pareidolia? That is, in my experience and training, the tendency for humans to seek patterns that match or approximate their own mental models or expectations. Oh, you guys, we're just suffering from pareidolia. An example is the recognition of a face or object in the perceived pattern of the cloud. Oh my gosh, I know what this is. This is like when you look at like a light socket and the like two lines like this and the dot look like a face. That's what pareidolia is. He's saying that's what we're having. We are seeing patterns to prevent the unwarranted identification of any. I wish this guy had testified. Unwarranted identification of any marks or shapes as other than what they are. To prevent pareidolia, in my examinations of dog bites, scratches, or abrasions, or other lesions that I examine in dog bite cases, I ensure that I can examine the subject dog to compare and contrast perceived patterns. Further, I examine the entire circumstances of the case or question to determine context, environment, or so he's basically saying, so then I asked, did she say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him? Kyle Sharkey says, pareidolia, which I'm probably also saying wrong, and I'm sorry, is the psychological tendency to perceive familiar, meaningful shapes, patterns, or faces in random or ambiguous stimuli, seeing a shape in the clouds, animals in tree bark. Yeah, that's not what we're doing. I don't see a face when I look at John's arm. I see dog bites. Like, what is happening? He would have fit right in. He's like a mix of Shannon Burgess and Judd Welcher. It's like you're smart, like Judd Welcher, so you kind of know how to BS, but also you are just making things up like Shannon Burgess. Further, I examine the entire circumstances of the case to determine context, blah, 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 and any other surrounding factors that might better inform my decisions. This is, in my professional opinion, a necessary part of dog bite investigation. I explicitly reserve the right to amend, expand, amplify, or clarify these opinions if more data is presented. Should we call him? Dr. Crosby, I have some more data to present to you. Chloe wasn't there in the morning. Yeah, we're all just suffering from like a bout of pareidolia. I really wish he had testified. Like that, getting somebody to come in and say that it was baby Jesus's outline would have made more sense. Hello, alternative juror. Great to see you. That is actually like, what are we doing here? How many people do you think that they tried to get to say that those weren't dog bites before they landed on Canine Aggression Consulting LLC? Research Associate Canine Brain Project. What's going on in your brain, Dr. James Crosby? He is like Sam with all the degrees. We call him 904. Oh, we have references. Should we check them? Dog bites in urban children. Well, that doesn't seem like it applies. The hammer, why dogs attack us and how to prevent it. Little too late for this case. Multidisciplinary analysis of bite marks in fatal human dog attack. The dog bites did not kill him. So far, I have not seen one book that applies. The individualism of a dog bite mark, a case study highlighting the bite mark analysis with emphasis on differences between dog and human bite marks. Oh my gosh, good thing they did that. We might have thought that those were human bites on John's arm. It was Higgy. Unusual infant death. This doesn't apply. Dog attack or post-mortem. Oh, no. Well, that really doesn't apply. And why are... This guy's weird. I'm sure that this is not what you guys actually wanted to see in the FOIA dump, but this is very entertaining to me. Wasn't a fatal dog attack. A lot of dog bites in children. I wonder if he had read less books and used his brain a little bit more just in the moment, if that would have made a difference. Also, which one of these books do you think talked about pareidolia? Dog bite injuries in humans and the use of breed-specific legislation. Okay. Well, none of these seem like they apply. Not a fatal dog attack. Epidemiology of dog bites. That seems like the closest one so far. We need to put Higgy to sleep and look in his mouth and get out a little ruler, a little hospital ruler, and do some measuring in Higgy's mouth. So none of these apply. Pointed, sharp, and semi-sharp force trauma seems like maybe the closest that we've gotten to. And I bet you if you read that, it would line up pretty well with what happened to John. This is crazy. I do not understand why somebody okay, this is kind of like the same thing with Hank. It's like, Crosby, sir, you were offered probably a lot of money. I'm going to look up what you got paid. But if you had succeeded, you would have put an innocent woman in jail. All because you ignored what you knew to be true when you were just looking at dog bites. And there was just a really, really loud noise outside. Whoa. Let's not be like that. Let's not value money more than we value other people and their lives and their feelings and their families and their consequences. I'm going to look up what he got paid. Hold on. Crosby. Also, now I can't tell if I'm rooting for it to be like a big number or a small number. Like, what did you sell out for? Canine Aggression Consulting. You guys want to make some bets? What do you think it is? What did he sell out for? Doesn't even say. Hold on. The initial review of materials, evidence, and discovery will be billed at a rate of $5,000 due and payable within 30 days. So way less. $5,000 to review the original materials. Hold on. Then any attendance trial appearance will be billed at a flat rate of $1,000 per day for each appearance. So he would have been there for one day. So now we're at $6,000. Oh, any further work would be billed at a rate of $200 per hour or any part of 15-minute increments. Maybe that's why he included so many books. He's like, I had to read all these books. Trial appearance shall be billed at $1,000. Any attendance at trial that does not involve my own testimony shall be billed at $500 per day. That is seems really low to sell out for. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office just need to remember that this is all for us to learn about so that we can make sure that Greg Connor does not continue this relationship with Crosby. Who knows what else they're going to ask him to do. Shall coordinate all travel. He's like, I can't book my own flight. pay for my meals. This all makes sense. Pay me for my flight. $200 per day. That's like you sold out for $200 a day. Like, I mean, that is like a decent amount of money in terms of like, that's nothing. Like kids babysitting get $200 a day. The maximum amount to be billed shall not exceed $12,000. He literally sold out for $12,000. You have had the opportunity to investigate and verify my credentials, and you agree that I'm qualified. Okay, dude, you are qualified. You had a lot of degrees, and you were international and national, and maybe you need to believe in yourself a little bit more and play hardball. Your signature below represent like Michael Morrissey's signature looks like his hand just gave up at the end. Loop. Okay. Good work, sir. You sold out for $12,000. Was it worth it? You made yourself look stupid for $12,000. Like easiest or hardest though, because it's like he had to look at dog bites, being a dog bite expert, and be like, nope, those aren't dog bites. Let's all make a pact to like not be like he could make $12,000 at the casino. You could make $12,000 on that is not enough to put an innocent woman in jail when you're looking at dog bites and you know those aren't dog bites. It doesn't even say he might not have even gotten to the all 12,000. It doesn't say. Envelope sent. Okay. Well, good work, sir. Yeah, goodbye, soul. Enjoy the ether. Enjoy the black hole that I just sent you into. Oh, hey, you. That color matches the dress you wore to prom with the cruise ship magician wearing sunglasses. That was a fun imaginary prom. I want to have a real prom. Guys, I feel like we need to like do something in real life at a certain point. Like we can't all just keep being internet friends. Like if Testify can all get together and like do things in real life, I feel like we could too. Just saying. Should we go to Judd Welcher next? Should we do a fervent break? What is HOSP? Let's do a fervent break. And then, yeah, okay. Alana UK said he must have been sad when he saw what Judd Welcher sold out for. At least Judd Welcher's made a little bit more sense. It's like $400,000. That's what it ended up being, right? $400,000 was the original billing. I used to know these numbers like in my soul. 566 or something was Hank's, right? So 400,000. That's at least like funding your business for a little while. It's like, okay, we can like get the new computers for the business now. We could like invest in, oh, you know what? Aperture could invest in some crash test dummies and all the cool stuff that ARCA has that they charged way, 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 way less for. I'm embarrassed for Crosby. I want to look up a picture of him while we do a fervent break. Fervent karaoke night. I know. I was actually thinking that I should have done this and forced Fervent to do it for the launch party. But like every day could be a launch party. It doesn't just have to be the actual launch. Also, Fervent. I don't know if you're here right now, but is there going to be a second album, and can my outro be on it? It'll be like a little bonus, like when like Eminem used to put like interludes in the middle of the songs. My outro. My outro could be your interlude. A fervent karaoke gala. Imagine trying to explain to somebody like in your real life who doesn't follow all of this, like, oh yeah, like this weekend I'm gonna go like sing about like this man painting his arm blue with a whole bunch of other people who are obsessed with all things Norfolk County. I love that. Yes, here we go. We're gonna play two fervent songs. And while we're taking a break, think about if you want Judd Welcher or if you want, hold on, what are our choices? Tell me your vote while this is going. The choices are Judd Welcher, more Morrissey emails. It's probably between those two because then the other one is media transcripts. And that seems boring. Judd Welcher or Michael Morrissey. Two stellar guys. Two guys that like cream of the crop right there. They should be proud to represent men. You men should be proud that those are your guys. Where's Pin It on the Girl? There it is.
Yo, it's your favorite cops back with another banger. Now sing after us. We're gon' pin it on the girl. We're gon' pin it on the girl. We're gon' pin it on the girl. We're gon' pin it on the girl.
Well, my name's Trooper Proctor and I have an idea. Let's take this broken tail light and sprinkle it here. They won't even suspect that it was me, cause I won't even be at the scene. Well, my name is Trooper Tully and I take it from here. Got the CERT team already there. They won't suspect that I'm a crook, cause I'll tell them exactly where to look.
We're gon' pin it on the girl. We're gon' pin it on the girl. We're gon' pin it on the girl. We're gon' pin it on the girl.
Yeah, my name's Berkey, here from the grave. I remember very clearly it was a rainy day when I looked out the window and I said, hey. There was a big piece of plastic on the yard. I said, oh my golly, that looks sharp. And I'll admit that I don't have the best vision, but this piece was as big as a television. Yeah, my name's Pocahontas, I'll save your ass, no matter what question Jackson asks. Mr. Jackson, think you can outwit me? Oh shit, remind me. What's a theory? Well, my name's Morrissey, and I got a treat. I'ma show you how to auto-delete every 30 days, and we're in the clear. Wait, what's the cloud? Oh, dear.
We gon' pin it on the girl. We gon' pin it on the girl.
That's right.
We gon' pin it on the girl. We gon' pin it on the girl.
Yeah, yeah.
We might send you a nude. Our group chats are the best. If that's not good for you, we might send you a racist tag. Corrupt County Records for all the no-ass bitches. Ha 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 ha. There ain't no party like a McAlvin third party. There ain't no party like a McAlvin third party. There ain't no party like a McAlvin third party. There ain't no party like a McAlvin third party. We got you right where we want you. We're gonna threaten you with defamation lawsuits. Got Alan Damon shaking in their boots. They scared, they bit off more than they can chew. Hold on, wait a minute, what does that say? 23 pages in and I'm only halfway. How the hell did they call our bluff? We thought our empty threats would scare them off. Now they're out here calling us the House defendants. How the hell do we even contest this? Guess Karen really, really, really wants her vengeance. Oh shit, now we're known as the House Defendants. House Defendants, we the House Defendants. It's not pleasant to be a House Defendant. Iggy getting tipsy off that Jameson and ginger. Never thought that I would be a penny pincher. The sweet whacker got me down to my last dollar. I still think she wants to McAlbert third party. There ain't no party like a McAlbert third party. There ain't no party like a McAlbert third party. There ain't no party like a McAlbert third party. Now they're out here calling us the House Defendants. How the hell do we even contest this? Guess Karen really wants her vengeance. Oh shit, now we're known as the House Defendants. House Defendants, we the House Defendants. House Defendants, we are House Defendants.
I was going to play Proctor Defender, but then I want to save it and we can do another fervent break in a little bit. You guys, I made an executive decision. I overruled you, but not for Judd Welcher, because I forgot there's this random document that is a Kevin Reddington 217-page something. And we need to take a look at it because the very first part, hold on, I have to remove this first. Okay. The very first part right here, number one, I don't even think they're spelling Kevin right. Does he spell it Kevyn? It doesn't seem like how he spells his name. Oh, I can't highlight in this. But look at his email, cheekyreddington23@gmail.com. So I feel like we need to see what this is about first. I can't highlight anything, so I don't like when you can't highlight it. Oh, Biatch, I like your name. Said, hi, Emily, I got my second poster of Sea Creatures behind you, and I love it. My grandsons loved it too. That makes me so happy. I like the idea that I can still be like teaching kids even when I'm not. Yes, Lindsay Clancy's attorney. I love the way that Kevin Reddington like tries cases. He walks into the courtroom and he's like, no nonsense. And he knows what he wants the end goal to be. And he's like, listen, like, we're not going to do all of this. We're not going to go back and forth about this. Like, I'm going to tell you this and you're going to say yes. And then that's how it's going to be. And I just like his attitude. I am confused about the spelling, though. Is this just like his burner account and he spells his name different on it? We'll find out. Dear Kevin, fancy spelling, Reddington, this responds to your October 17th, 2024 public records request. I'm like, why did he send this public records request? Was this when he was representing Jen McCabe? That feels later. I thought he was only representing Jen McCabe before the first trial. This is all confusing. Same, Mizzy, all day, every day. Enclosed, you will find 38 emails responsive to your request, 215 pages. The first 6 digits of work cell phone employees, blah, 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 they were redacted. Why did you file this, though? And why is this in Karen Reed's discovery? The prefix of personal emails, okay, blah, blah, blah. Also, I feel like there's something about this letter that feels like they were scared of Kevin Reddington. Like, they're like, okay, we gave you everything. Oh, interesting. Wait. Oh, interesting. And weird. What was the request? I guess we're going to find out. You have the right to appeal, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Michael Morrissey. Special Master Report. See, this is when Michael Morrissey got a iPad. I don't think he had an iPad in the first one. This is an even bigger mystery. The reason why so they talk about like COVID stuff that's boring, but then there was one email that seemed really sketchy to me when I was just happened to open it up to this one. Or maybe not sketchy, but just odd. This is all COVID stuff. Okay. After the COVID stuff. More COVID stuff. Dude, COVID was such a weird time of life. Like what was happening? Okay. Nope, still COVID stuff. I thought that was going to be Greg Connor, but it's not. There's Judge Connors. Okay, this is the one that I thought was weird. Subject jury trials from Michael Morrissey to Kevin Cunningham, who also spells, can we just get a normal Kevin? Kevin. Kevin's, it's an I there. Okay. I know your time is short, and I don't care if you dump it off on Judge Vitale, as long as it goes with a very strong positive recommendation. Thank you for your help. Can somebody interpret this for me? Subject jury trials from Michael Morrissey to somebody named Kevin Cunningham. Maybe if we knew who that was, this would make more sense. This was before my time, but I believe you guys because a whole bunch of you just said this. I also want to make it very clear that I'm not talking about her. So I don't get mad. I know your time is short, and I don't care if you dump it off on Judge Vitale, as long as it goes with a very strong positive recommendation. Thank you for your help. What does that have to do with jury trials? Who is Kevin Cunningham? Let's see. Kevin Cunningham. He's a judge. Judge Cunningham recently retired after 25 years as a district court judge, having served something that got cut off. What? So you're emailing a former judge with the subject line jury trials. I know your time is short, and I don't care if you dump it off on Judge Vitale, as long as it goes with a very strong positive recommendation. Thank you for your help. Like, to me, this could be like whatever, but to me, this is the kind of like corruption that I picture them doing, where it's like you say something that they know the underlying whatever is like, put in a good word and get us a good jury or whatever. And okay, so now this has to do with jury during COVID. My impression of the public is that very few people will show up for jury duty until 2021 at earliest. I would also like, what is this? This is just a Word document. This is an email from Frank. Who's Frank? To Christine Barak. I would seek a medical exclusion, as I am over 60 and as would many in my age group. This will leave days with minimal jury pool, only to have the matters postponed again. Too soon. What? Did that person sign off too soon? Like, instead of like, best, sincerely, too soon. Okay. Thank you for the thoughtful process that was used in determining this thorough report of how to manage trials in the COVID era. The one comment I have is that one of my co-counsels is deaf and will need cart services. What is this document dump? Who are these people? That Christine person again. Dear Justices of the Supreme Judicial Court. This letter is the first of 4 public comments I intend to write to you prior to your deadline of August 14th, 2020. My upcoming 3 letters will concern proposed legislation I recently wrote. So now we just have ideas about how we're going to have jury trials. What is happening? Now, oh, it's just like a random Susan in Waltham. That judge one seemed weird. The rest of these seem whatever. Susan wrote a bill. Go, Susan. Susan, great job getting involved. There's just a 12 Angry Men meme. I feel like Morrissey loves a meme. He just seems like a meme guy. I bet Morrissey gets tricked by AI videos all the time. Like it could be the most blatantly obvious AI video, and he'd be like, guys, look at this. This from DA Michael O'Keefe to Christine, subject jury trials and other things. And the email just says, you broke it, you fix it. What? Okay. Okay, let's go over to the Morrissey emails. What's okay. That was boring. There was that one exciting one. That was it. Okay. Yeah, Reddington did donate to Greg Connor and Michael Morrissey. It is what a weird like system that we have where people can donate money and get in good favor with people that have an impact over our legal system that are supposed to be impartial. We're doing life wrong. Okay, Morrissey. Or do we want to do that? Did Melanie read the long email from Matt McCabe? Because that seems like I didn't read it all, but a long email is usually a good email. I'm driving, but I'm listening. Crispy Treat says, I will be better about saying everything out loud and not just thinking it in my head and not saying it out loud. Right now, Crispy Treat, what you're missing is me not knowing which document I'm trying to open. What's this? I see Proctor's name. Subject Michael Proctor. Want to read this? No, that actually looks boring. Wait, I know what I need to do. I need to open it in the FOIA site and not just on my desktop. Oh, hold on. I looked up James Crosby. He kind of looks exactly like how I would think he looks. For Crispy Treat, who is driving, James Crosby looks like he spends some time in the sun. He likes to be outside playing with his dogs. He has a mustache and a little bit of hair around the back part of his very bald top of his head. He looks like a happy guy. He looks like maybe he thought that this was funny to lie about dog bites not being dog bites. Like he has a secret and it's a little bit funny. He's a contributor at positively.com. He is positively a liar. Matthew Farwell's lawyer at the time went to Morrissey's fundraiser, of course. Why would they not all stick together when they're protecting each other? FOIA and findout.com. that Crosby guy looks like he enjoys a poker game with his friends. Notice of discovery, that's not the right one. I need to fix that. I need to fix that too. This is what I meant when I said that it was 70% ready and not 100%. Date modified. What is today? This one? That's just one email. Oh, this is the Melanie Little email, just one by itself. If anybody didn't see this earlier, hold on. It says, let me switch to this. Okay. Michael Morrissey, from Michael Morrissey to Brian Tully and Hank Brennan on November 2nd, 2024. Subject, forward, Karen Reed attorney Melanie Little live. Now, let's break that down. Melanie Little is not Karen Reed's attorney. So right off the bat, what are we doing? And then it is a forwarded email from a person named Carol Jacques. And it is to Michael Morrissey with 2 Z's in front of his name for some reason. And then also Michael Morrissey with not 2 Z's in front of his name. I don't know what that's about. Subject, Karen Reed attorney Melanie Little live. And then this is in all caps. So you know that it's a sane person writing this. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024. Melanie Little was paid by donations to her channel. The FKR cult arrived. Melanie chat consists of approximately 1,800 most days. The paid subscribers arrived. Melanie and the cult lied. The cult goes to different channels. Example, The Glarer, LTL, going through the motions. This, a criminal conspiracy. They have nothing good to say about the troopers. I, and then the one word that is not in all uppercase, think. That is so spot on. That is the one thing you are not doing, babes. It's a criminal conspiracy, maybe Rico, your Rhode Island friend. I think that, so Melanie was really upset by this. And I think it's because it's almost like what I was saying earlier, where it's like, you've had this feeling that like, it's like you've had this feeling that somebody's like watching you for 2 years now, but you have no way to prove it. So she's probably tried to talk herself out of it, of like, they're not really like the ones that are attacking me. They're not really the ones who are encouraging people to like harass me or whatever. And then just to see her name in something like this. And if it was just the email, I feel like that wouldn't have struck a chord. But it's the fact that this random, very clearly unhinged person from Rhode Island sent this email to Michael Morrissey, and then Morrissey immediately, well, let's see, immediately? Yes, immediately. She sent it at 8:01 and he forwarded it at 9:06, forwarded it to Brian Tully and Hank Brennan. And like, this is clearly something where it's like either in relation to something that they've talked about in person, or there are more emails like this, because there's no body of the email of the forwarded message. So it's not like, hey, like, do you know who Melanie is? Or it's not like, you know, what do you think of this email? Do you know Carol? Or look at how weird this unhinged person is. We should never go to Rhode Island because she seems scary. No, it's a forward of like, guys, like, look, I got some information that's good. And that's got to be scary when you think about like, these are powerful people. Like, that's the whole reason why this is important, is because these are the people that hold the power. And I think also probably that reaction stemmed from like starting the day with all the weird things that a person I'm not going to name was doing. It was just weird vibes. It's like, we're not bad people to want to get to the truth about what happened to John O'Keefe and to want to get to the truth about how the people that we're supposed to be able to count on are getting away with still to this day, not being held accountable for it. That doesn't make us bad people, no matter how many times the forensic room ladies say how horrible I am. And that is it's like weird to think that people have really kind of like sold their souls for what? I'm going to find this document now that has Morrissey's emails. I promise you, it's just not happening quickly. I just heard that same loud noise again outside, and it was kind of scary. Here's the Matt McCabe email. Should we do this one for now? It is my favorite thing about this whole crew of people. Chloe didn't do it. That's true. Chloe and some other people did it. My favorite thing about these unhinged emails that they send, like the ones that they all sent in defense of Proctor, is they send them to the all the powerful people in the state. And I guess maybe it's not even that funny because maybe these powerful people are actually taking it seriously. I guess at first I kind of pictured them being like, oh my God, look at these crazies. But maybe it's not that. Maybe it's thank you, Matt McCabe, for your concern. This is on Halloween at 4:39 p.m. He has young children. Go get them in their costumes. Go take them out trick-or-treating. Why are we sending an email to Michael Morrissey, Josh Levy? Also, how many times do you hear people, oh, it's fireworks. Thank you. Duh. Oh, my dog's probably scared. How many times do you hear them all online being like, Karen contacted Josh Levy and Adam Deitch? Okay, so did you guys. So now it's just a matter of who's more believable. From Matt McCabe on Halloween to Michael Morrissey, Josh Levy, Andrea Campbell, Maura Healey, Kristen Collins, James Hendry, I don't know who that is, Jeffrey Noble, and Brian Tully. Urgent request. Witness intimidation by Aidan Carney, spelt incorrectly. Dear Special Prosecutor Robert Cosgrove, Matt, you didn't send this to Cosgrove. What? Unless this redacted is Cosgrove, but why would they just redact Cosgrove's name? Okay, well, dear somebody who's not getting this email, Norfolk County DA Michael Morrissey and Acting United State Attorney Josh Levy. Already, what are we doing here? We didn't edit. The fonts are all mismatched. And you don't use somebody's title when you're addressing them in a list of dear. Okay. I currently don't have the email. Oh, here we go. I currently don't have the email of Special Prosecutor Cosgrove or ADA Adam Lally. Why didn't you list Adam Lally up here? Please share. Last week, myself and my wife, Jen, had the opportunity to sit down with Special Prosecutor Robert Cosgrove. It was great to discuss with him the current situation and to talk about things moving forward. Upon reflection, I feel that as witnesses, especially my wife, we are being placed in a no-win situation. Our friend John O'Keefe tragically lost his life, and as part of a disturbing defense strategy, we are being falsely accused of causing his death by thousands of people. We are targets of a despicable campaign of criminal witness intimidation and harassment. I'm going to pause here for just 1 second. You know how I know that you're full of shit? Matt McCabe, because if you are really this emotionally abused and concerned and devastated, then you would do absolutely anything to just clear your name and be like, listen, focus. Like, we know what happened. It was Karen. Stop pointing fingers at us. This is a waste of time. Here's my cell phone report from the geofence data from Google. And here are all the Ring cameras I could gather in the neighborhood that show that I was home at this time. And here's my doorbell camera. And here's my alarms at my house that show that I opened the door at this time and I closed the door at this time. And here's a picture I took that I sent to my friend. And I sent this text and I said I was, no, we have not seen one thing other than Colin getting picked up from Allie, which was just for him. Like, you were all there. So just at this point, just get your just dessert. Like, let's move on. Dude, and I'm not witness intimidating you. I'm not even talking to you, Matt McCabe. I don't know you. So chill out. Due to many issues that are outside of our control, the current case against Aiden Carney has not proceeded forward. Oh, you just want Aiden locked up. So you're actually not even concerned about the thousands of people that think that you did this. You're just concerned about a man named AIDEN. I don't know who that is. Due to many issues that are outside of our control, the current case against Aiden Carney has not proceeded forward, and we anticipate and expect more delays. While this is going on, his targeted harassment, along with others on social media, has amplified. Each day, we are subjected to thousands of defamatory and libelous comments directed at my wife, family, and friends. Well, you know what? I have a secret for everybody. If you are getting targeted on social media and you don't open your phone, it's not happening. It doesn't exist. You want to know how I know that? Because your organization, Matt McCabe, doxed me on January 9th. And that was my mom's birthday. So I wasn't on my phone very much that day because I was visiting with my mom for her birthday. And I opened my phone when I got home at the end of the night, and there was thousands of people like saying the most vicious, horrible, disgusting things about me that I have ever read in my entire life. And they were using my full government name, and they were saying where I live, and they were talking about my mother-in-law, and they were donating to testify in my mother-in-law's name. Your organization, Matt McCabe. And then you know what? I closed my phone and it wasn't happening anymore. It was just happening in a little box on the table instead of in real life. So if you're that concerned, stop going online. Oh, Nancy, I love that. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen eventually because in my like very first week that I was ever on Twitter, there was an account. I was like still, I think, had my full name. I wasn't like posting a lot or anything. And I think I just had my full name and whatever on my profile. And this is what happened. I joined the Facebook group that was like the Karen Reed is guilty group because I wanted to see like what I didn't know about this world yet. I want to make this very clear. I joined it because I was like, oh, I wonder what like this group of people that like are seeing the case differently than me are saying about that. So I was in that Facebook group for like 3 weeks, and my Facebook picture and my Twitter picture were the same thing. My name was the same. I was not like trying to be sneaky or like trying to like infiltrate them. I didn't even know there was like a thing I didn't know what AFKR was yet or like any of this. And then somebody from that group was like, I found you in my group, and like started attacking me on Twitter. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, it's my picture and my name, and I'm in the group. Like, I wasn't hiding. And they started saying all this stuff. So then I was like, okay, this is a weird place. Now I understand. That was a warm welcome. Made all my like Facebook stuff more private than it was. And I always kind of had in the back of my head that they like knew more. They were like saying like, I'm screenshotting her husband's like Facebook profile right now. And I was like, oh, that's, you guys are weird, but you're going to have that on me at some point when you want to use it in the future. And apparently that day was my mom's birthday. And that organization that wanted to do it was Testify, your organization, Matt McCabe. All of that to say, when you put social media away, it's not real life and it doesn't exist. And then you won't feel sad anymore. Aiden Carney has been operating as a mouthpiece for the defendant, who has only been emboldened by the Department of Justice's involvement. The involvement by the Department of Justice has only empowered him and others to continue these reprehensible acts, as more individuals feel justified in joining the campaign of cyber harassment and witness intimidation with no accountability. The full extent of the psychological harm we have suffered has yet to be realized. Okay. I feel like that's something that you're in control of. What? The psychological harm we have suffered has yet to be realized. What? Sir, that's really dramatic. As to why the DOJ is involved in this case, I don't know that answer. At the time, I welcomed it, as I know that myself, my wife, my family, and my friends were not involved in the tragic death of our friend John. In the end, I expected the DOJ to show the public that the accusations against the witnesses have been unfounded and that there is no conspiracy. The DOJ knows that the witnesses have been wait, what? That the accusations against the witnesses have been unfounded and that there is no conspiracy. The DOJ knows that the witnesses are not involved, but instead of our names being cleared, all we have received is continued harassment by the FKR mob, which has been fueled by this open investigation from the DOJ that has compromised the state's case against Karen Read, has swayed public opinion, and tainted the jury pool. Okay, I have a question for you guys, because I didn't like, so I found this world and Twitter specifically. When was this? Like right before, like April before the retrial. They say a lot that people are like harassing them and this and that. Since I've been a part of this, have not seen anything more than like online stuff. Like I never hear about people like going to anybody's houses or doing anything in public. Or maybe if you like the like Brian Albert with the megaphone thing is like the most like in-person example I can think of. Was there more happening before I was involved in this, or are they just exaggerating and making all of this up? Because I can't imagine that people were like going to the McCabe's house and like yelling at them every day and torturing them. Yeah. Also, like, let's hypothetically say that his family is involved. Hypothetically, just for the sake of argument, for fun. What would you have thought was going to happen when the Department of Justice gets involved? Like, were they really that delusional that they were like, oh, we can talk our way out of anything and everything, we'll be fine? Or are they that connected that they really thought that their connections were going to carry them through, which technically they have? That's what I thought. Weird Debbie M. Says that's exaggerating, and that's what I thought. Okay. The state is currently prosecuting Aiden Carney for witness intimidation. I wonder if they know how to spell his name now. But that has done nothing to stop the continued harassment. It's almost like he knows that he didn't actually do anything wrong. We have provided you with ample evidence of his continued intimidation/harassment. As stated in a recent Vanity Fair story on Karen Reed, Carney has turned this situation into making himself $50,000 per month. Sounds like that's probably going toward his legal fees. He has built this income. Why do they get so mad when people make money? I find that very odd. Like, nobody's like, Matt McCabe's business is bringing in $200,000. Well, like, why do they care if people make money? He has built this income around spreading a conspiratorial narrative of lies, harassment, and criminal witness intimidation. Via use of the internet, Carney had engaged in cyber criminal activities. Really? Using digital platforms to propagate false information and manipulate public opinion. How malleable do they think we all are? I made up my own opinion. This orchestrated campaign of deception directed by the defendant, parentheses, Karen Reed, not only distorts the truth, but also breaks the law, highlighting the broader issue of how the internet is being weaponized to facilitate such illicit operations. Yeah, like Maria Scally says, I don't work for free. Right. And like nobody is expected to. And why do they care how much money Aiden makes? Like, guess what? Elon Musk is a trillionaire. Let's all get mad at him instead. Yeah. You are my people. Jesse said, what's with the 300 different fonts? Like, do you think that he was just cut and pasting from like Chat GPT and then like an email that Jen said, like, say this, like Jen texted it? Yeah. The Gen X Erica said, Matt did not write that. I feel like every time it says my wife, that's Jen just writing that. Like, and especially my wife, directed at my wife, family, and friends. Okay, well, your wife seems like she could fit in both of those categories. So why did you have to be so explicit about that? Okay. Then it says, the orchestrated campaign of deception directed by the defendant, Karen Reed, not only distorts the truth, but also breaks the law. After reviewing some of the more recent events that we have shared to show this behavior, I strongly disagree with the assertion, maybe, that we need more material. I strongly disagree with the assertion that we need more material. What? On September 19th, my wife, hi Jen, we see you. This is cute. An innocent woman was publicly branded a murderer on the steps of the Massachusetts State House. The Massachusetts State House, in all caps. That incident alone constitutes witness intimidation. How? Like, walk me through this, because I know that the Massachusetts statute is weird and basically anything can count as intimidation, but intimidation is to the end of getting somebody to change their testimony or to testify like in a certain way or in a certain favor, or likely, I'm assuming, not testify at all. So to say, don't show up that day, don't, like, kind of what they're doing right now. How is labeling your wife an innocent woman being branded a murderer at the top of the state house, how is that witness intimidation. Like, yes, you are a witness, and yes, you are intimidated, but that's not witness intimidation. Those are just two words of things that describe you. On October 19th, written in like 6 different sized fonts, Carney publicly states on his YouTube show, talking about Jen and my daughter Allie. Here are some quotes from Aidan Carney. Oh, we just switched gears halfway through that sentence. I am going to enjoy that family getting separated. I am going to enjoy the fuck out of that. Well, like, you know what? It's rude. It's crude. It's probably hard for you to hear. You know what you could do to not have to hear that? You don't have to watch Turtle Boy on YouTube on Tuesday and Saturday nights. You could just go to church or go to yoga or go to sleep or go get ice cream or do anything else that would make you feel happy instead of watching Turtle Boy. And then guess what? You wouldn't even know that he said that. With Jenny McCabe, it's going to be great because her kid is Allie McCabe and she sucks too. Oh no. Allie McCabe is the getaway driver to a murder. She is an accomplice to a murder and she lied about where she was that night. Well, this seems like a really easy one that, Matt, I understand why you would be. I mean, like, I hope that you're more concerned about that than you were about the Jen one, because Jen's a grown up. She can handle herself. I want you to like pop a bear about your daughter. So you know what you can do to protect her? You can get every single possible record that proves that she definitely picked Colin up at 12:10 and just for some reason didn't see her aunt and uncle that Colin was talking to and they didn't see her. And then she didn't see you even though you got there at 12:14 and Colin said that it took him a couple of minutes to put his shoes on and say hi to Brian and Nicole. And then they said, "What are you doing here?" So that was a little bit weird. And then Allie probably pulled out of the driveway right when you and Jen were pulling into the driveway. But if that's what happened, you could prove it. And the fact that you haven't is a little bit suspect. I'm sorry, Jesse. Jesse said, I just lost my appetite thinking about Matt and hot yoga. Yeah. I bet Matt is a sweaty guy. He was probably really sweaty today. It was really hot today. It just feels like if you really were not involved, it would be very easy for all of this to stop. Watching that family get split up is going to make me hard as shit. That's weird, Aiden. That's a weird thing to say. It's not witness intimidation, but to be perfectly honest, that's a little bit weird. Why? I don't have any more questions about that. But Matt, I get why that might make you feel a little bit weird. On October 23rd, Carney publicly states on his YouTube show, directly stating Jen's name and that he's talking about her. He makes the following statements. I will never stop, no matter what happens. That doesn't state her name at all. And doesn't make it clear that he's talking to her. What? This is forever, and you will only be able to hide behind the witness label for so long. Okay. Well, that was actually just true. Sometimes Aiden just says things to them that are true and they freak out. And it's like, so you're just afraid of the truth. Like when he said the thing that was like, you're not going to be able to like go anywhere and be normal. Oh, this one. No matter where you go, people are always going to look at you. That is the bitch that Googled Haas long to die in the cold. Yeah. That's just like a fortune cookie. That's like, I looked into a crystal ball and this is what's going to happen. No matter where you go, everybody's going to look at you and they're going to think this. Yeah. You are a murdering piece of shit. Okay. We are not going anywhere. The thing is, like, if somebody said to me right now, like, you are a murdering piece of shit, I'd be like, oh, Well, like, that was a weird thing to say because no, I'm not. And then I would move on with my life because I'm not. So maybe it's the kind of thing that it like strikes that nerve where like when a troll just says the exact right thing where you're like, oh, you found the thing that I'm self-conscious about and you brought that one thing up and that really got under my skin for a second and I didn't like that feeling. Maybe that's what's happening. On October 25th, Carney publicly states when talking about Jen at a fundraiser, she is going to jail. And Jen, I am going to be there when your ass gets sentenced. And this is the last face you're ever going to see. Well, that's not even true. You still see faces in jail. And guess what? You guys should be relieved now. They should be so happy that didn't happen. They could have slunk off into the abyss and wiped their hands clean and said, we never have to see that Aiden Carney guy ever again. Remember how he tortured us for 2 years? Let's move to California. Let's pretend it never happened. Hey, Kirks. You know how easy that would have been? Like, they could literally be living in Aruba right now. And eventually we would have forgotten about them because that's what happens. And we would like talk about it a little bit and we would hear rumors about where they were, but it would slowly die down because they wouldn't be giving us anything new to talk about. And eventually that would get kind of boring. And instead, they're like, let's sue everybody. Nobody's safe. Emily, we're watching you at all times. You're next. What do you mean? Really? Okay. On October 30th, Carney publicly posted a photo of myself and my wife, along with other parents at our children's high school soccer game, to his 100,000 followers. Also, they get all weird about follower numbers. Like, having 100,000 followers, having 5,000 followers, having 100 followers, only a fraction of those people are actually seeing the content. And you can literally see the number of views that something has, and it's never the number of followers that you have. So stop exaggerating. Imagine sitting next to a cold-blooded killer like this at your kid's soccer game. We all know what you did. I mean, honestly, if I was at an event and I was sitting next to somebody that I didn't know had been involved in something like this, I would want to know. That seems like he's just doing a solid for the neighborhood. Sorry, Jesse, I will not send them to California. I will send them to Guam. Anybody here from Guam? Bailey Love said, been watching and reading Aiden for over 10 years before Karen Reed and after. A lot of good law enforcement officers also watch and read his stuff. Exactly. The good ones. And if he was crossing the line the way that they say that he is every single time he opens his mouth, one of them would call him up and be like, hey, dude, like, I'm a turtle rider. I just want to say, like, that comment X, Y, and Z was getting close to witness intimidation. Be careful. None of those. That hasn't happened. Want to know why? Because this isn't. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. And I feel like there are good lawyers that can argue things that seem irrational to me, but this is not witness intimidation. This is not why we have that law. Now we're in bold. Are you ready for the bold question? Why would anyone want to be a witness under these circumstances? I feel like maybe they misunderstand what the word witness means. Like, a witness means you saw something. You were a party to something. You actually don't get to choose what your eyes see. Like, if you're at a place and there's an event and your eyes see it, now you are a witness. So why would anyone want to be a witness under these circumstances? They wouldn't. But you're misunderstanding what the circumstances are. You got yourself into this. Knowing John O'Keefe, if he could walk through the door, he would tell my wife to walk away. I feel like Sam Benigno could go nuts analyzing that one sentence because that to me feels like knowing John O'Keefe, if he could walk through the door, which he did, he walked through the door at 34 Fairview. He would tell my wife to walk away. That feels like they're like reliving something that they wish that they had done that night. He would tell her that this is not worth it. What has happened to us is a disgrace to our judicial system. I agree, for the exact opposite reason that you just said that statement. It is a disgrace to our judicial system. That's what we're trying to fix. Oh, I did it. Okay. And has set the wrong precedent for future witnesses. Guys, guard your eyes. Everybody just walk around with sleep masks on because, God forbid, you see something. While this case has made the state of Massachusetts out to be a complete embarrassment in the eyes of the public, again, I agree, for like so the opposite reason than you're saying it. Our leaders have stood idle. The Department of Justice has made a mockery of the state police investigation and refused to stand up to clear the witnesses' names. I wonder why they won't just clear your names. Massachusetts Attorney General has sat back while the governor and leaders of the state police thought the best option was to punish the state police officers at the forefront of this investigation. That sentence did not age well. Oh, boo-hoo, Proctor got punished. The punishment of these dedicated officers is a mistake. Every decision or non-action that has been made by the people who should be leading this state has only fueled the FKR mob. We all should be ashamed and should work together to make sure that what has happened to my family never, ever happens to anyone again. I can't even imagine writing an email like this for something that I like really feel passionately about. Like, this is too dramatic even for like something you really actually want. Thank you for your time and effort, and to those who are trying to help. But enough, capital E, is enough, capital E. It's time to bring forth additional charges now. What? Sir, you don't get to charge people. It is time to bring forth additional charges now? What? As we have expressed in person and have mentioned previously, we live in constant fear and uncertainty for my family's safety. There is nothing in this that has indicated that they should be afraid for their safety. They're uncomfortable when they go online, which we have already established you just don't have to. And Aiden yelled at Jen once. And then besides that, it's just in your imagination and your tweets. This defines witness intimidation. I look forward to your response and next steps. Best regards, Matthew McCabe. Now, he's somebody who should have signed off too soon, Matthew McCabe. Why don't we get the responses? I want to know what they responded. I hope they all just ignored it. Michael Morrissey probably went over and like gave them a foot massage or something, because that seems like something he would get real worked up about. Okay, let me look at the chat for a sec. Jody Callahan sent $4.99 and said, "Girl, I'm 41 and from Worcester, so I think it's hysterical so many people don't get his demeanor about Turtle Boy. Satire is huge. Satire with facts infused is Aiden." Yeah, and it's like, I can see why people would be like, "Oh, that's not my like kind of, I don't want to like hear that language, or I don't like the way that he like talks about other people." And you know what those people do? They don't watch. They watch something else. They watch the news. They watch something boring. And people who are fun and funny and know how to take a joke and are light-hearted people that are easily entertained watch Aiden. And every once in a while, you're watching him and you're like, "No, don't cross that line. Don't cross that line." And then sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't. And that's all part of the fun. Like the other night when he was like deciding if he was going to say John Como's phone number out loud to everybody. And I think we were all collectively like, can you just not go there? Because you're just going to open a big can of worms for yourself. And then a little voice inside his brain kicked in and he didn't. And it was like, huh, we got a little impulse control here in our mid 40s. Yay. I think he's so entertaining and I think it's fun. And it's like, why wouldn't we just want to have fun in our lives? And again, if you don't think it's fun or a topic is not enjoyable for you or an episode is not enjoyable for you, you just turn it off and you come back next time. The NM Realtor, is this New Mexico? The New Mexico Realtor? The New Mexico Realtor became a YouTube member, or not New Mexico, the NM Realtor. Thanks. Welcome. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like there's so many times that you can see Aiden's like, I mean, I get like this sometimes too, where it's like your mouth is going and your brain is about to catch up. And then sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And we've now all seen the way that these things spiral where it's like, I just can't have like 6 weeks of people being like, he said John Como's phone number out loud. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not him. So I don't know why you're yelling at me about that. And then it passes and then the next thing happens. That was, Nancy said Aiden's theory on baptism was just hysterical. That was one of the funniest things when, what did he say? It was like heaven insurance. Asser and Fish sent $5 and said page 207 of that Reddington document, which is apparently not a Reddington document. I'm very confused. Morrissey uses grave concerns about a judge about Aiden. Also, I texted my friend who knows Reddington, and he said, that's fake. Someone made that. It wasn't him. That's not his email or how you spell his name. Great. Confirmation. Oh, you want to hear another one? This is cool. This is from Kevin Reddington. Hold on. Inside scoop. From Kevin Reddington, RE identity theft, Kevin Reddington. Attorney Hunt. After the motion this is really little. After the motion hearing that occurred before Judge Krupp last week, people have forwarded to me a copy of a letter that you sent on November 27th, 2024, indicating that a petition was received ostensibly from Kevin Reddington with a Y, appealing the response of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Appealing the response. Please note that I never submitted any Freedom of Information request or request for public records pursuant to blah, blah, blah. It appears that someone has attempted to adopt my identity in demanding copies of these records, and this is a total fraud. It is interesting to note that back about 6 months ago, I was contacted by a police officer from the Belmont Police Department asking if, indeed, I had requested a Freedom of Information report seeking police reports on a local attorney who is someone who is opposed to the FKR movement. Are we talking about Tal News Network? I assured the officer that I never requested any documentation or records, and he advised that the name was misspelled in any event as Kevin with a Y. Subsequently, I was contacted by a police officer from the Rockland Police Department in July of 2024, inquiring as to whether or not I submitted a petition appealing the non-response of the Rockland Police Department to a request for public records. Yet again, I explained that I was not the author of such demand or request, and it was a fraud. I told both police officers to reach out at any time if it was necessary for testimony, blah, blah, blah. I did not bother to do anything further about this as it was nothing more than a headache, obviously brought on by some bored individual seeking to further their free care and read agenda. It was only until I now learn that there was an argument before Honorable Judge Krupp in the Superior Court where he inquired as to the purported author of the demand for public records and was told that apparently nobody knew who the author was when it was readily apparent that they were well aware that the purported author was Kevin Reddington with a Y. I'm sending a copy of this letter to the court as well. I will also forward a copy of this documentation to the Massachusetts State Police and the United States Attorney's Office. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay. Cleared that one up. Fact check. Fact check 1212. I'm going to go with yes, Sunshine Love. I bet Jen has Googled her name lately. Interesting. Kat Randall has been a member for 7 months. I know that that's like not a long time compared to like people who have been on YouTube for so long, but I can't believe I've been doing this for 7 months. Like that feels wild to me. And I appreciate you being here and sticking around and sticking through some a little bumpy road getting here. But thank you. And Boxer became a new member. Look at this doggy. You guys are the best. Should we listen to Proctor Defender and then maybe decide if I have enough energy to read something else or just say goodnight and go to bed? And yes, that is what we should do. Also, the way that Jen Googled her name the day after John O'Keefe died, a couple of days after, was like, you could, like, Jennifer, you could not have done anything more obvious. Like, if your name had been in something with John, one of your friends would have, like, reached out to you. Like, you would have seen, you would have heard already. You didn't need to Google, like, John O'Keefe, Jen McCabe, John O'Keefe and Jen McCabe. Like, just, maybe we'll listen to Proctor Defender. I'm going to just make sure that I didn't miss anything that I want you guys to see on the site. And then I'll send you to FNL. And you can see my buddy, the expert. Okay. What am I doing? Remove. Yay. I've been looking forward to this all night.
Called you up and
no, that's not the right one. Where is it?
The life of a Proctor Defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender. I don't even know why this is in the news. All of y'all are acting like prudes. Who doesn't like looking at nudes and sharing those nudes with the whole damn crew? Don't come at me with quid pro quo. I love that man, no homo. Not one text that he planted evidence. That means that it is so evident there's no corruption, so what's the relevance? The feds found nothing except for these messages. They say there was a conflict of interest, but really we all had a common interest. Frank, Karen, Reed, and we're in the clear. Then work with Kev on a cold case of beer. The life of a Proctor Defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender. Please judge, don't let these texts out. He's been through enough and he's really stressed out. He's got Kerry Roberts backing him up, got Matt McKay backing him up, the district attorney backing him up, and Yuri, yeah, he gave a thumbs up. How about the Emmy? Not so much. How about the laws of physics? Not so much. How about Michael Easter? Not so much. How about common sense? Definitely not. The silent majority aren't on Twitter. For my man Chip, my hands on the trigger. Today in Canton, it's time to kill some.
No, sorry, Proctor, I can't say that.
The life of a Proctor Defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a Proctor Defender.
Here, Bear, take the mic.
Tell 'em how you feel. Bitch, get out of line.
I call her a whack job. Then I wonder why I got fired from my last job. All these Twitter trolls say I'm looking like a fat slob. Tell the FKR crew they're gayer than the flash mob. If I go to jail, please pick the right cellmate, cause I probably pissed off every single inmate. They say orange is the new black, and as you know, I don't really like black. I can't help that, they annoy me. The only hood I like is white and pointy. Oh! Okay, Jesus, bear, please step away from the mic. White and pointy. Stop, stop, you're making it worse. It's hard to defend you sometimes. The life of a Proctor defender.
They made my decision easy because Rat House isn't live yet, so I'm sending you to the expert. And you guys are fun. This was really fun. I'm going to fix the mistakes that I have on the FOIA site now, and then it will be ready for you to explore on your own and let me know what you find. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, weekend, 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. And see you next time.
If you need a place to breathe, some stress to just relieve, then come watch Emily see, where we keep it drama free. We want justice for John O'Keefe, Aiden and Kelsey, wave bye-bye to Morrissey. Let's clean up Norfolk County. Emily C, the one we need, reading sidebars with Corey, writing hang diaries, giving the people what they need. It's my pleasure to entertain, keeping you laughing makes my day. Positivity all the way. Why do we tell Satan not today? And now it's time to say goodbye. But before we say goodnight, just keep one thing in mind. Please like, comment, subscribe.